Let's talk about it.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored. They did it.
Left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey folks, Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Well, welcome into the softest NBA we ever been a part of. At least it looks like that. We'll go to the monitor every time there's a little bit of contact. Woe is me. Welcome in, family. This is A2D Wednesday night. Tom Arnone, Ryan Broder, Ralph Del.
Oh, don't lie.
Greg Milwaukee, Money Pop Podcast, Nate Moss in the house. What's up, baby? What's up, everybody? We got a lot to talk about tonight. Eagles news. News is coming in. Continues to come in. More guys are getting hired, more coordinators, more of the coaching staff's getting put together. We'll get our reactions on how we feel about that. Phillies, hey, JT, welcome back, baby. It's good to have you, and we're a step closer. We're a step closer to where we want to be. We'll get around the NBA. We'll circle the whole league tonight. Sixers, Lakers. We'll have the post game, and we'll obviously have live reactions, and we'll get into our poll in a minute. This show is brought to you by the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. All right, we know many of our families deal with mental health and addiction issues. We're happy to support the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. If you need help, please call 856-651-8117. And listen, the Counseling Center, they have televisits. You don't have to go in. So listen, make the call if you need it. 856-651-8117. Listen, we got some things. Okay, we got some things. We were feeling good coming early into this. And we'll get to our poll in a second, but we were feeling good coming early. First quarter, we were like, woo, here we are, the beast in the East. Like, okay, we get it. You're 9-0 on the road, but look at us at home. All right, and the tide shifted a little bit. Now let's see if we can hold on to this with a 2-point lead. Our poll question brought to you by allcampusoc.com. Use discount code A2D, 15% off all your team hats. That's allcampusoc.com. Discount code A2D. 15% off all your team hats. Our poll, tonight's Sixers versus Lakers game is an NBA Finals preview. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, wherever you're listening in at. That's where we're live, and everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Like, subscribe, follow. Listen, pound that like button. Pound the subscribe. Pound the hell out of it. All right? You want to help out? You want to help out? A little SEO work for us? That's what you do. That's what you do. You pound it. You pound it, you share it, and you move it around. And that's how you help out A2D Radio. And listen, we want the family chime in with us tonight. All right, talk Sixers with us. And if you want to talk Eagles and Phillies and you got things to get off your chest there, either excitement or disappointment, let us know too. Everything's always on the table, and anything national is always on the table when you chime in with us. All right, so enjoy it tonight, soak it in, and let's talk about it. I want to say agree so much. Right? I really, truly do. Like, every bit of me is agreed up, okay? There's a part of me that's scared to go all in because I have in the past, and I haven't been realistic of young players, per se. When you talk about Joel Embiid and when like, guys really grow into being able to get the championships, right? So, but guess what? Fuck all that. I completely agree that at least that, because I don't know who's beating the Lakers in the West. I mean, they're that good, and I think they're on a mission, and they're going to figure themselves out a little bit more too as this season goes on. Right? They have a lot of new additions there that can really play basketball. Let's not forget, it's a damn good basketball team in the Wells Fargo tonight, and I expect them to be representing the Western Conference. And I know the NBA. Okay, a little double dip, and I know the NBA. Lakers will be in the Western Conference Finals and represent the Western Conference. And the Sixers, they're going to be there too. I love it. All right? I love this matchup. A little 0-1, finals. Will take me back. Except guess what, Ralphie? We got the big man. We got the big man to dominate you. All right? You had Shaq in 0-1? Well, good. Hold my beer. Let's go to work with Joel. So I agree to the poll that it's both of these teams. I do. I mean, the only part with me that would disagree a little bit would be the Sixers. Maybe. Because I've been hurt. I've been hurt so many times. You know what I mean? And that's just me talking as a fan that's been crushed numerous occasions, just as a Philly sports fan. Okay, so I just talk that side of it. But in terms of them being good enough, yeah, why the hell not? You know, Joel Embiid's shown when he's on the court how valuable he is to this team. And if he can be fully healthy during the playoffs, we're tough out in the East. We're a goddamn tough out in the East. And if Ben Simmons plays any bit as aggressive as he does tonight and has for the most part, besides that last Detroit game, over like a sample size of like 4 games, he's been more aggressive than not. If that can continue to come, who's beat? Like I don't know who's going to beat us in the East. Really, I don't. We have bench stuff that we need to figure out, and I expect us to. But in terms of this starting 5 and then being able to play together, I mean, that proof's in the pudding too, baby. I mean, them numbers don't lie either. All right, they're loaded when they all play together. All right, they're tough. They're tough to beat when they all play together. So I'm going to stand by that. It's been more than a small sample size of them playing together and them showing how good they can be together, right? That's how you got to look at it. And you know you got enough vets to be able to do it, but it's going to be question marks on guys like Shake and Furkan and Maxey, who just I don't know where that shot went, but it's going to be up to these bench guys that are going to have to perform to a higher level when come postseason time. Because I expect the healthy Joel Embiid to be an MVP candidate and be dominant in the playoffs. Big men win in the playoffs. We signed up for this a long time ago, boys, when we were winless for whoever. It was really Wiggins, but we don't want to talk about that anymore. We signed up when we got the big man and we sat through all of it. We signed up to dominate teams inside out. And hopefully it can come to fruition. So I'm going to agree because, 2, I want to beat the Lakers. Make sense? It's like a double win for me. You know what I mean? I want to beat the Lakers. I don't want the Sixers to be there. So I agree. Boys, we'll go to you first and then work our way around. We'll give the Crumb Lakers guys got to go last on this one. He's going last. So Rye, Nate, Greg, Frankie, then our Lakers faithful will be allowed to tell us how he feels.
Even though we don't care.
No, that's why he's going last. No, I'm just kidding. I just switched it up tonight. That's all. I just figured I would dictate tonight. I would tell everybody where to go.
To me, I also agree. To be honest, I'm right there with you, Tom. Part of me, just for the sake of not being heartbroken again and not being fooled way too early in the process, not the process, but the process of looking at this team in a season, I wanted to go disagree just because I'm like, well, you look at the Nets, you look at the Celtics, you look at the Bucks. Well, I think the best 2 teams when it's all said and done are going to be the Nets and the Sixers, and I think the Sixers – I know at least right now until they do get, an Andre Drummond, which, is rumored, but until he's there, I'm not going to judge the team like he's there. I think the Sixers match up really well against them because we have a deeper roster, not as top-heavy of a roster, and also you look at it to where who do they have to defend Joel Embiid? Jared Allen's now in Cleveland. They're saying, we're going to go and get JaVale McGee. Really? We have Andre Drummond. He's 50. Like seriously? And I know at the end of the day, you look at it, with all of our, say we have concerns with this roster. Well, we have a GM and a coaching staff that's going to go out and address those concerns. Doc Rivers has said over the last week, hey, we need one more guy at the power forward position. Well,
hold on. Who the hell's making the calls out here? Sorry, is he making the calls or is the ref making the calls? Because it looked like LeBron's making the fucking calls. All right, I got no time for that. The late ass whistle after his hands go up. The joke. Lock game.
It's like they're hell-bent on keeping this game close. I'm not going to do the whole, they're trying to get the Lakers to win, but every time we go to push the game away to where it's a comfortable lead again, we have this situation. And I'm not like a Mr. Anti-refs guy, but this is ridiculous.
And we missed LeBron pushing Shake in the back through that whole process too. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, finish.
No, you're fine. So to me, I have no doubt, to be honest, and there's a lot of great teams, not good, great teams in the Western Conference. But I honestly do believe the Lakers, they're going to be there. They just are. And I think the Sixers are going to be there with him, to be honest, because I think we match up really well against Milwaukee, who's not playing that great. I think they match up really well against the Nets. You know, at the end of the day, and I know this is kind of cliche, but the only thing that can defeat the Sixers going where we need them to go is themselves, is the self-inflicted wounds and mistakes that we've seen in past years. But I think the biggest thing that we don't have that kind of cost us, and I'm not saying it was all his fault, but we went from having Brett Brown, who we know even back before we even got to the spot where we know for a fact he wasn't a championship caliber coach. We all kind of felt that. There's no question that Doc Rivers is. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, what about giving up the big lead against the Nuggets? I understand that. But you can't take away that he has won championships in this league, and you look at the coaching staff and how this roster is built. So to me, I'm going full throttle. I'll say absolutely agree to it.
Am I next?
Name money.
Yes, sir. Well, you know me, and I come to the show, I always got to have something to drink with me. You know, make sure I fill up my cup before I speak. This is a nice little whiskey too here, man. Shout out to Pops Whiskey McCann from Philly. You know what I mean? This is a rye, aged 6 years. Tastes good, man. Y'all should check it out, man. Yeah, you really get that sear and that oaky taste to it too. Yeah, it's nice. Check it out.
I'm a whiskey and bourbon kind of guy.
Yeah. Pops McCann, McCann, man. Check him out. Pops McCann, man. Check him out.
Just let it sit around. Let it simmer.
Let it simmer, man. Let it simmer, man.
Oh.
And I'm gonna let this shit simmer. Right? They're not going. I've said it on this show a handful of times, and I'll say it again. They are not going to the finals with Ben Simmons on this team. They're just not. They're not, man. They don't. He's not. It doesn't work. I don't think you, Ryan. You said they match up well with Brooklyn. I don't see how they match up well with Brooklyn at all. Who's guarding who on Brooklyn?
Well, who's guarding Embiid? That's the starter.
Yeah, we got one guy. We're talking about 3 prolific scorers.
I understand that. I'm not saying we're going to sweep them, but I think at the end of the day, I don't know who's getting Joel Embiid and shutting him down like Marc Gasol has in the past, Al Horford has in the past. They don't have that.
We got good defenders, though.
And they can very well implode before they even get there.
I mean, a lot of people see that, man. And the thing about basketball, you guys got to understand.
I see you. You're falling in love. You're falling in love.
I'm not falling in love, but it takes time. It's just like the big 3 in Miami. It took time, right? It takes time for these guys to learn how to play with each other. They're all ball dominant players, and they're going to learn how to play. But when the lights are on, when it's game time, they'll show up. I mean, outside of Harden in the playoffs, it's hard to defend him in the playoffs. But Kyrie and Durant, come on, man. They'll be fine. Nobody's going to stop Brooklyn, man. Nobody's going to stop Brooklyn in the East. I would love to go. But if you look at the way this team was, and then that team that lost to Toronto on the triple, quadruple, doink, Ben was on the bench in that last quarter. You know what I'm saying? And there's a reason for that. And I just don't think I don't see us beating.
That's not fair. That's
not fair.
Years ago. It's not fair. It's not fair. Well, it's not fair to say that he's the same player he was 2 years ago. I disagree when anybody says that because that's not fair.
What has he showed you that he's a different player from 2 years ago? Defense alone,
he's become a better defender. Alone. Just that alone, he's become a better defender. And I'm not Mr. Ben Simmons. I keep it. I try to keep it 100 about him. I mean, he's become a better defender. We can't say he hasn't done that.
But do we need him to be a better defender, or do we need him to be a scorer?
I need him to be able to defend the dudes you just said.
we get smoked by Boston every year because we can't defend on the wing. So yeah, absolutely, we need defense.
I need him to be able to defend the likes of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving at times, James Harden at times.
I need him to be my number 2 scorer, and he's not. What is he, 4?
I don't need him that. I need him to be my 3rd, 4th scorer. I need Tobias Harris to be my number 2 scorer.
Mm-hmm. And Shake to be a Lou Williams coming off the bench.
Ooh, you want Shake
as my number 3? Yeah, so far
that's the one I don't.
Stretch, dog. That's a stretch.
Right
and
now,
if you get a Lou might be the greatest 6 man of all time.
I'm not saying he's Lou now. I'm saying I need him to be the scorer off the bench. That's what Coach has been saying all year, fellas.
Yeah, it's a bad comp. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I like
played
that, man.
7 years. Like, you know what I mean? Like Lou was on the bench when AI was here.
Still cooking.
Yeah, that's just not fair. That's why I hate the comp game, because comp games are never fair to either player. Like, Shake's a different style of player, but can he score? Yeah, but we've seen lulls because he's young. That's the only problem. And it's not a problem with Shake. It's just part of being young, right? Yeah. It's not me running him out of town. It's none of that. It's part of being young. Is you're going to have your up and down nights, right? And the key is, can you have more up nights than down nights in the playoffs?
If they go to the finals, it's because Doc did a hell of a job.
And isn't that why we brought him in?
Absolutely. But sometimes, like that talent and coaching thing goes hand in hand for me. And I think basketball is a little bit different than, say football, because on basketball, you can do that one-on-one. You can have that ISO, right? Yep. And talent is just going to carry. They're just better than you. You can't do anything about it. But I think with this team, I think it's going to be coaching, and coaching to get them to the finals. And that's just, that's why I'm sticking with, man. Because I like I said before, I don't think they're going to get to the finals with Ben Simmons on this team, man. I really don't.
All right. I mean, listen, agree to disagree radio. I mean, I don't think that's like, I would say it's totally fair if there wasn't two other max guys on this team. Like, I'm totally in the what Eagle Slayer said, a score first player. Like, I listen, sure. Like, if there wasn't two other max guys, like, I need Joel Embiid to be who he is. I need him to have his touches, right? You have a lot of guys in the starting five that require touches and shot.
Yeah. How much more of Embiid do you need, though? I mean, we're seeing consistently a couple games here now, almost 35 and 12. I'm not sure if you're going to get much more from him. Maybe a big game when he drops.
What else I need to get? I'm the first in the East right now. What else do I need to get?
What do we need more out of him?
He's gooch. But yeah, do I need more scoring out of Ben like tonight? Yes, absolutely. I don't disagree with any of them statements. He has to be able to score at least 16 a night. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. I've been on the record. I stand on that record. I'll stand on that cliff with whoever wants to fight me on it. But I'm saying only 16 because I know what he can do with other things on the court, getting guys open looks, which is so important and nobody talks about, right? Playing great defense that nobody really sees, right? Essentially, not sees, but you know what I mean, right? When somebody box score, more of a box score thing, right? But everything else is factual. He's got to give you 16, 17 a night for this team to get to where they want to get to. Full. Greg, sorry, go ahead.
No, absolutely. And right, real quick, 50-year-old Andre Drummond's still only 27. Isn't that amazing? Like, I had to go look it up, and he's still only 27.
Oh no, I wasn't saying he's 50. I was saying DeAndre Jordan.
Oh, DeAndre Jordan. I thought you meant Andre Drummond.
No,
but still,
no,
I feel like Andre Drummond's been in the league 800 years too.
Wait. He's how old, Greg?
He's only 27.
Yeah, that's 3 years younger than I thought he was. So thank you for saying that. And he wasn't even the guy I called old.
Yeah. I disagree to the poll, and it has nothing to do with the Sixers. I don't think the Lakers are getting there. I think the short off season after playing in a bubble in that long run is going to catch up to them, right? No one expected LeBron to play all these games so far this year, and they come out on fire. There's going to be chinks in that armor. The Los Angeles Lakers will not make the finals.
You just on the hate train, huh, babe?
Absolutely.
Hate train all the way. I don't see anybody stopping them in the West.
No doubt about it. 100% pure hatred pick right there. I don't even care.
I know your truth.
And fam at home. I just want to clarify. And Greg, you can. I'm sure you're not even hiding it. He did say before the show. I asked him because anyone who's watched the show for at any given length, you would know that Greg's not a James Harden guy. So I asked him. So Greg, who do you hate more, Harden or LeBron? And Greg, you said
James Harden. No, I'm sorry, LeBron James.
I was gonna say you flipped it on me. So that's saying a lot.
Because to me, James Harden isn't great. I hate LeBron because he's so good.
So
he acts like he's not. He acts like he's a big baby. Just be great and be the man. And he's such a baby.
So you just disagree on the Lakers side of it.
The Lakers side. I think the Sixers have proven, if healthy, that they can beat anybody in the league. And if their starting five is there as healthy, they are right now the best team in the East.
I don't disagree with that.
I don't disagree with that either.
They just got to. I mean, it's all up to you. See the difference from Joel Embiid playing and no Joel Embiid. 0-4 without Joel, not good enough. Okay, it's not acceptable, right? Like 1-3, I'm over 4 games. Like okay, like you can't be 0 for something without your best player. You got to show enough fight in those games, and they're the concerning games. But when he's on the court, this basketball team's really good, obviously. Yeah. But when he's not on the court, it's not fun to watch. I mean, I was pissed against Detroit. If he played and they lost, I wouldn't be as mad. I was, because it's just like, okay, you played him back, not back to back, but 2 times in a row. Sometimes, it's tough to beat team twice. So I get it, and they're scrappy, right? Regardless, like you can't, like nobody stepped up outside of Tobias the other night, and that's the concerning things that like get you when you talk about Ben. But when Joe's playing, the funny thing is like people are like, oh, they can't play together over the years. Right. And it's like, oh, look at their record together.
I think Doc said it best. They're going to have to learn how to win without Joel on the court.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to do that yet. And that's why they're not going to get there. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to have to learn to score and win with him off the court. And that's the problem.
I think they can play with him. Sorry, Frank. I think they can play with him off the court if he's playing. It's when he's not even an option there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking, because when he's not available at all, you could see some moments where they are fighting back. Going back to the Detroit game, the second Detroit game, there was some fight in them where they were trying to get closer, but every single time they always take a huge step back and they eventually lose by double digits. So
Frank, real quick to your point, Frank, because you make a good point. It's at the end of the day, I think it goes back to when Dwight Howard has to start.
Mm-hmm.
He gets in foul trouble so quickly.
He does, yeah.
So at the end of the, it quickly now becomes the Tony Bradley show. It just seems like, and granted, it's only 4 games, but those 4 games, I mean, it's glaring when it's over.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of fouls, right? Like it doesn't matter. Like the bigger thing isn't about Dwight starting or not starting. It's about, hey, in the fourth quarter with 7-8 minutes left, who's turning it on? Because like you always heard growing up, like, hey, you only got to watch the last. That a boy, Ferk. You only got to watch the last 5 minutes of a basketball game to know who to. Like I always say, watch the last 5 minutes. You know who the stars are, right? Just turn on the last 5 minutes of basketball. You know who the dogs are when you turn on the last 5-6 minutes, right? That's been factual our whole lives. All right, so that's the biggest kicker. Well, one, Dwight fouls everything and anything, and a freaking coach probably too. But that's factual. But even with him playing the whole game, they're still not going to win in the fourth quarter unless somebody wants to take over.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I agree with Frank's statement. I agree with your statement, Rye. Like none of that's going to equal success. And to Frank's point, you get close in that game like that, but you don't have anybody to take it over.
Right.
Nope.
And that's where the Ben Simmons crush.
And even Tobias too. Like if Ben's not having the best of nights, you need to have Toby step up too.
Like, Toby did. I think Toby had 23 the other night, which is fine. Like that's perfect. But Ben, that's a night you need to walk into 20.
Especially
into 20. I don't know you. I don't know who you are.
Exactly. Well, especially Tom, when we've talked about so many times in those 4 games when Joel isn't there, who's making up for those 30, 40 points? You know what I'm saying? Like we get every night something from Tobias from 20 to 25 points. Well, when Joel's not there, we need that to go from 23 to 28 at least, and then for Simmons to go to 13 to 20. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to make up some of those.
That's everything. Everybody's got to add. Everybody's got to up their game. When that's usually like rally around the second goalie thing, right? In sports, the backup quarterback. Like, okay, your best player's out. Now put your big boy pants on and let's go to work. Yeah. And that's usually a motto all around sports however long you played sports for. If you knew you were missing the best player on your team, whatever you played, right outside of Rye, who's played golf, then you're the best player as long as you're playing. You don't got to worry about it. But everybody else who's played like any type of sport, like, you know what I mean? If you're missing your best player in baseball, you feel you got to do a little bit more, right? Like anything, you feel that internalness.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel that. I don't feel anybody on this team saying, you know what? When Joe's not here, this is my show.
And of course, go back a couple of years ago with that next man up mentality. I won us a Super Bowl. So somebody in a Sixers uniform's got to do it.
100%. Frank, what do you think about the poll?
All right, before I answer the poll, and it looks like the NFL head coaching search is now complete. The Texans have reached a deal with Ravens assistant head coach David Culley to be their next head coach.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, Deshaun's gone. Deshaun's gone.
Really?
Look at Tom's face.
Are you fucking serious?
Yep.
Dude get a job. How's that dude get a job?
Who was that again? Who's that guy again? From where?
He was the Ravens assistant head coach.
So it wasn't even Greg Roman.
Greg Roman. It wasn't Leslie Frazier.
Nobody on that staff deserves a job.
No.
Wow.
I can make a case their head coach don't deserve a job right now. So I mean, I don't want to hear. I don't. Who deserves it? Oh, wow. Okay. I'm done. You know, Houston do Houston things, and we ain't talking about them right now.
Houston, we have problems.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're like, I feel like if you're an assistant head coach, you don't get a head coaching job ever. You know what I mean? Like, you go from coordinator to head coach. I feel like if you're labeled an assistant, you're like, yeah, you're just a whipping boy. Like, go get me coffee. You know what I mean? Like,
For his more specific jobs, he was the wide receivers coach and the passing game coordinator for.
They don't have wide receivers.
Or a passing game.
They don't know how to pass.
coordinator, wide receiver, they don't use them.
Yeah.
No, it's just funny. Like Bieniemy's there. Like Houston, what do you got to lose to wait? To wait till after the Super Bowl, right? Like, what do you have to lose for any of the two teams in the Super Bowl, right? You got a lot of good coaches on the Tampa staff, and you have a lot of good coaches, obviously on Kansas City staff. So what are you in a rush for? You know what I mean? You should be in the opposite of a rush. Whatever. All right, to the poll.
All right, to the poll, I agree to the poll to an extent. The only thing stopping the Sixers is not having Joel Embiid, which I hope he's going to go all out during this entire playoffs. The only other team in the East, I thought was going to be a challenge for the Sixers. I originally had them in my early Eastern Conference Finals was the Miami Heat. Miami is not playing the best of basketball right now. I know they're missing Jimmy a lot, and it's starting to show. Hopefully, they'll try to make a run and try to fight back for a playoff spot. But the only other team, I think it's just going to be Boston and Milwaukee that's in the Sixers' way right now in order to win the East. So, but I'm very high on the Sixers right now. You know what? I think they might have a very good chance of making the NBA Finals, and it's against Ralph's wonderful Los Angeles Lakers. So.
I don't know about how wonderful, but
yeah. Hence the sarcasm in my wonderful.
Ralph.
So with that, I agree.
Enlighten us, Ralphie.
Please.
Well, here we are. I'm gonna go agree on this one as well. I've been screaming for this for about two years now, ever since we got LeBron.
How's that not Sixers ball?
Was that a foul?
Shut up. Fouling who? AD? For spanking somebody in the locker room?
I didn't see it. I was talking. My bad.
Your guy. Uncle Spank in the locker room. Never forget that video. All right? Never look at him the same.
That's a foul. That's
grown basketball.
That's just a block.
Yeah, you can't do that to a superstar. Any other way, I agree with this poll question. I want Sixers versus Lakers just so we could shit talk each other throughout the whole series. And for the great story of the 0-1 finals, everybody knows what happens in that finals. Not going to get into it, but yeah. So I agree to the poll. 100% agree. What up, Crum? I see Crum in the background as well. You're just sitting there in a blue room. Nice color, Crum.
It's the blue lagoon.
All right, so AD goes to the line. They're down 9, so here we go. Here comes that,
Ball don't lie.
Here comes that crunch time.
Looks like he's got a freaking cape on. Joel.
Nate, you're right though. He had a heating pad on while he's sitting there on the bench.
Oh yeah, for sure. I told you. Yeah. He hit. I mean, as long as if he hit the lower back, that's a soft tissue thing. But if he hit the tailbone, that's bad. You know what I mean? Right there. that he landed hard. Like when you see it, it looked like he was still elevating, and all of a sudden he just got like it was like duck hunt, right? Dude,
Ball don't lie. Ball don't lie.
He's
you know what I mean? So, but I mean, he's out there. He's going to be out for I think a game or two though after this. They wanted this game. You know what I mean? If you look at the, obviously if you guys don't know, I run Money Pop Podcast, so we talk about a lot of gambling and sports numbers. And we looked at this game, and this game to us told us that the Sixers were going to show up today.
Oh, I loaded, baby. Hey, I loaded tonight. I came hot tonight. My buddies.
Yeah, Sixers are loaded tonight. You know what I mean? They wanted this game. They wanted to make it. This was a statement game. And then the Lakers have won 9-10 road games in a row. It was due. You know what I mean? It was due.
Yeah, and listen, the Sixers are tremendous at home. All right, they dominate teams at home. They haven't been able to figure that out fully on the road this year. Obviously better than last year as of right now already. I mean, I think they had 3 road wins this year. So already like tripled last year, it feels like. So, already better there. But their home dominance, as of right now, I mean, even if they lost this game, they're damn good at home. But their home dominance has proven to be real. Now you're talking about going on 2 years of playing this well at home. So that's the big difference.
Ralphie, your 2 superstars 0-4 at the line.
Ball don't lie.
Free Frosty time.
It's almost like Ralphie, the basketball gods are saying that wasn't a foul, huh?
Ralph, you getting your Frosty tomorrow?
Yeah, how does that work?
You got to download the app, brother.
You want to hit the fraud move. The fraud move. Where's the call? Whoa, look at that bucket. Wow. Look at that bucket. And no call. Grow up.
That's what a superstar looks like, Ralphie.
Grow up with no call, too. All right? Got to get that all day. And he comes right back to 3. He's so good. He's 28 years old. Like, he's going to tell Brady to hold his beer in terms of, playing till he's, 50.
Yeah, he's going to be playing until his son's in the league.
Yeah, that's when he's going to stop playing.
His son's in the league, right? He might be playing when his son ain't in the league no more.
Oh, yeah.
His son might not be in the league no more. Attaboy, Benny.
I love it, Ben. Pad those stats, baby.
We love it.
With a triple-double.
Throw up a shot, get your rebound, put it back in. Let's go.
All right, Sixers up 12. Going on a timeout here. Yeah, I mean, that's contact right there.
He's all over.
And the reach. What a shot. What
in the first half, too. And you get the call on that one from Harrell.
I just don't know. Nate, back to that. I don't know who in the Eastern Conference is beating us if this team's healthy. I'm looking for that team. And I don't buy the Nets beating us. I truly don't. We can
still get better. We can still get better from here, Tom. We can still get better.
For starters. I mean, Ben could cover any one of them 3 you want to cover.
You're out of your mind. Who could Ben cover?
He can cover KD.
No, he can't.
Stop it. He's not shutting him down, but he can cover him.
You stop it. No, he can't. He cannot cover KD. KD will give him 30 every goddamn night.
KD gives the world 30. Nate, I'm talking about it.
That's the point.
You won't book that? I book it. You don't. I book it. You don't. If he covers him, he makes his ass work. And he ain't faced nobody 6'11" that can run with him athletically. He doesn't. He doesn't see that night in, night out. Let's be fair.
He's a legit 7-foot guard.
And a 7-foot guard's covering him.
Yeah, there's another one matching up against him.
Yeah, you guys are out of your mind if you think Simmons can stick KD. You're sick.
But define stick. Stick means be able to keep up, make things hard on guys. He absolutely can. He absolutely can make things hard on him.
Kevin Durant, and just like all 3 of them, they will get their shot anywhere, any spot on that court, no matter who's guarding them.
No, you're crazy. You don't remember? I don't. This is. We love Mamba. All right, love Mamba. Okay, but never forget, there was a man who used to get his shoes rubbed in the locker room, known as a Kobe stopper, and that was real life shit.
You're talking about McGrady?
No, I'm talking about Patterson. Right? Wasn't Ruben Patterson? Not Ruben Patterson. Yeah, I think it was Ruben.
Ruben Patterson.
Yeah, Ruben Patterson.
Was it Ruben?
Kobe stopper. All right. There was guys that were built to slow dudes down. Dudes have been known to get slowed down before in this league.
We had a guy in this city that used to do a lot of that, and that was Andre Iguodala. That was his MO for a while when he eventually took on the right role of being a role player on other teams, especially with Golden State. He was a defensive stopper.
Y'all telling me to stop now. Everybody's telling me to stop. Like, I'm not telling you he's holding them to 18. I'm not telling anybody that KD don't do what KD does in ways. All I'm saying is watch it be harder. If you think he's dropping 40, you're all crazy. And if you think he's having the most efficient night ever, you're crazy. But if you think he can drop 25, of course.
I guarantee you he'll have a game where he drops 40 if he versus us in the playoffs.
In his 7-game series, he's absolutely going to have one game.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to have a game that goes.
There's no question he's going to have one game. Can we limit those to one game?
Well, it's not even just
if he averages 33, 35, is that slowing KD down?
It's not even.
I'll book it. Who wants to write? Listen, we got journals and shit still. You know what I mean? Got notepads in our phone. Whatever the hell we got. I will put whatever. Listen, we can do a little gamble right here. I love losing money live on air. I lost money to Wilson Sunday live on air. I'm willing to lose more. Okay? But the fact of the matter is, I will book shit that he don't score more than 35 one time in a 7-game series.
We already got a bet. We got company versus company. If Brooklyn goes to the finals, what else you got? What else you got? What else you putting on the line?
There you go, Danny. You made a layup. Thank you.
I love that Danny Green showed up because he didn't get his ring.
I think
he said fine.
He definitely has the green light. He's tracking on the Sixers.
Oh, Danny Green's got green light written all over him. Absolutely.
I don't know if Doug. I don't know if Doc. I don't know if Doc gave him the green light or what, or he just thinks because he's got a couple rings he can do that. But Jesus,
that's a foul on LeBron.
Yeah,
that's a foul on Harrell.
Yeah, it's a reach. Go to work. Go to work. Eat somebody.
Fade away.
That's fucking call. That's nothing.
Appropriately.
Woo. Woo. Calm down, Tom. Calm down.
Musa.
I definitely thought they were going to let that go.
Triple-double. Good for
Ben. That was the latest call of all time right there.
It was pretty late.
That was later than Super Bowl. All right?
The ref was like, we better call that. We better.
It's been a good cold game tonight. I don't know why you guys
Ralph.
Someone mute him.
You would be down by 25, okay, if it was called fairly, okay? Maybe 30.
I just think we're overvaluing the Nets because if Joe Harris doesn't give you production in a 7-game series, they're out. They're out. It's as simple as that. That's it. I mean, they can't just have 3 guys who can score. I mean, the fact that they don't have a lot of scoring after them 3 makes it an issue. Who's going to step up?
Love it, Toby.
The Warriors didn't win just because of Clay and Steph and KD. They had other guys step up. Draymond Green had a huge role. There was other guys on the bench Sean Livingston had huge roles. So, who's going to be those other guys for the Nets is the biggest question mark. Not those 3 per se, because them 3 are ballers. So they're going to give you what they give you.
Ooh.
I mean, Iguodala won an MVP coming off the bench.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Bro.
I don't even care.
People say he won an MVP, but what was Bron's stats that series? What was it? Wasn't it like 38 and 9 or something crazy?
There was one big stat in there, and that was the big L that hung up there in the championship.
Yeah.
I agree, TCP.
I mean, he should.
You know, I mean, to the poll question, I would agree. Although, see, I don't think the Sixers have an easy road. You still have Milwaukee, you still have the Nets, whatever they're going to be because of KD's there. However, I think the Lakers have a tougher road because I like Utah a lot this year. The Jazz look like they're for real. And, you know, the Nuggets have been a little bit inconsistent, but Jokic is a pimp. And if that team can play consistently, I think that they can make a deep run and give some
I don't like the other
team like the Lakers some trouble.
Listen, I side with my man Shaquille O'Neal on a lot of shit, and I do not fully buy in, and I haven't, period, to the Utah Jazz. Like, I don't fully buy in to Donovan Mitchell night in, night out yet. I just don't. I think he's a big volume guy at times.
I didn't think Shaq was wrong with what he said, nor his standing up for veteran guys who have a right to voice their opinion on these kids. I don't think he's wrong. But see, that's the kind of stuff that I could see fueling a kid like that, and Utah just getting better and better as the season goes. They're built, if these kids can remain consistent, to be a team that can make a deep run in the West and give a team like LA a hard time. I just think the road's a little bit tougher for the Lakers than it would be for the Sixers in the East.
Boys, we closing this one out tonight? Are we getting this dub, or are we gonna squander a lead with 4 minutes and some change here in the fourth quarter? Because that's where we're at right now, and
we're in.
They're down 9, and they're starting to make their little run like teams do in the NBA. You know what?
Here we go. Buckle up.
Let's see how our Palms play here.
Hold on, Allo. We're coming in for a landing.
I'll tell you this. I'm looking at the stat sheet right now. We've only gotten 2 points out of Seth Curry. I need 1 3 tonight from Seth Curry.
Oh, he's gotten off the hook since he came back.
And I'll add to the stats. Looking at because I'm the betting guy, they're minus 4,500 on the money line.
That's a fucking dub.
That's a dub.
Yeah,
that's a dub.
Ain't in the lose. I mean, my +4 feels delish in a dish right now. I mean, that feels real comfortable.
Is that what it was at?
It was
Yeah.
4.5.
I got him at +4. Yep.
I didn't plug it in time. At 2 in the afternoon, it was 4.5.
Ooh.
My buddy texted me, said, "You see this? Is Joe playing?" I said, "I haven't heard he wasn't." And then I looked at it and I said, "I think he's playing, dude. Like, I don't, Seth is the only one talking about not playing." So that was like,
it was a short line though. I mean, the line there is telling you that, like we said before, the line's telling you that Philly's coming to play.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Two things though, Nate. That's what always can get people sometimes too. It can tell you it's too good to be true. Then there's also that lines around too.
What a shot, Toby!
Yeah, because who's on the other side of that? Isn't the Lakers? Aren't they on the end of a road trip? Like, don't
No. We got Detroit tomorrow. We got Boston, and then,
you still have more left.
Then we got Atlanta. Yeah,
I knew you guys were on I knew they were on a road trip, but I thought maybe it was coming to an end where it's in baseball. It's getaway day. You know what I mean? Like, we'll just get the guys out there for a good run.
I couldn't agree with this message more from Jesse. We need a subreddit chatting A2D stocks up to 300,000. Yes, please, Jesse. Can we get on this? I was thinking about a GoFundMe. Start a GoFundMe for shareholders. You know what I mean? Get in now, right? We're looking to launch in 2031. We're looking to go public. We're going to go public in 2031. I mean, listen, enough shares go public tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Jesse? You get that on Reddit, babe. We could be public tomorrow. Fuck everybody. Really want to shove it up everybody's ass? I'm a big fan of shoving it up big businesses' asses. Let's go.
I agree with TTP.
There it is. And one.
Oh, that's a foul now, refs. Thank you.
I love the dry hump. I'm the biggest fan of the dry hump. I love the dry hump. You know what I mean? Jeans and jeans. Jeans on jeans. We all been there when we were younger, boys. You know what I mean? Jeans on jeans, dry hump. It's good for you. It's good for the soul.
The young boys call it Wallies now.
Wow. That's what they call it.
Wallies?
Wallies.
Oh, the best dry hump in the game. Yes,
Anthony Davis cannot guard Joel, and I love it.
Joel's taking a beat in this game, man, but I like it. Showing some toughness today.
Listen, him and Tobias carry the show. Tobias is like one of the most consistent players in the NBA. It's crazy. His numbers just constantly get to where they are. Like times he drives us crazy at times, but like he's really even been more consistent throughout the early stretch of this year than he was last year. You know what I mean? And I think that's a big credit to Doc being in the house. Yeah, damn, bad turnover, Joe. Bad turnover. Up 10. Palms 8.
Come on. Yes. Yes. Sorry.
Ralph, stop. You're ahead of us.
I was about to say, Ralph screaming, that means the Lakers did something.
Show some damn decorum over there.
Yeah.
Some respect for the game, Ralph.
Ralph, you got money on this game, man?
This is where you can use it.
He don't even know what money on a game means.
He doesn't know how to bet.
Oh, you don't bet.
This is where we could use a 3-pointer for Seth right
Real
now.
quick, though, this is a huge possession. Huge possession. You got to shoot that.
Oh, it's a foul shot, Ben. Seth?
Shit.
And where's the contact on him on the crossover?
What did I say? It was minus 4,500. It was plus 1,300 at that point for the Lakers to win.
Oh, can we get a
You
rebound?
said it was,
For God's
you said the
sake.
Sixers were minus 450.
No, 4,500.
Let's go.
Enough.
Let's go. We're in it still.
Oh, wow.
145, baby. 145. Come on, baby. Come on. Let's go.
How about that line?
Why
Do
did
you want to
my
say
mic
anything
jump
more,
in my
Ralph?
mic? Christ.
I feel like
I'm
I should have dropped
I'm
a
gonna say
$15 spot on that 4,500.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you guys something right fucking now. You want to hear something right now? I'm all good for the unselfish guy. Okay? I'm the biggest believer in the unselfish fucking teammate. Motherfucker, you just had an elbow jumper. All right? You just had an elbow jumper, nobody around you. Seth is not open there. He's not open on that play. He's not open. You are. You are. I need you to pull the trigger on prime time with the lights shining. I need you to pull the trigger with 1:45 left in the fourth quarter. I need that trigger pulled. Or I'm going to be right on Nate's side where I can't buy in and I'm going to start pulling that fucking trigger.
You must be talking about Ben. You might as well come on over here, buddy. I got a cup for you.
I've been on both sides the whole time. Ask around, Nate.
I got a cup for you. I've said it and I'll say it again. Put it in black and white. Do what you want with it. This team is not going to the finals with Ben Simmons on this team. They're not.
They still can.
They're not.
No. They still can. I'm just talking about. I agree with the nonsense at times. That's what I agree with. That's it. That's every. Like, I'm going to go make that shot right now, or at least tempt it. And my legs aren't what they used to be, and they never were really something too big. But I'm burying that. All right, ask around 38. I'm pulling up. Right there. What? Oh, no one comes up. A bucket. All right, it's the easiest shot. All right, it's like making it on a fucking Fisher Price net when you're 6'11". Okay, like a Fisher Price shot. Christ. The basketball's so freaking small in your hand. That's a bing, and bing, and bing all day.
We were having so much fun a couple minutes ago.
Give the ball to the big dog. Go to work. Go to work. Post him.
Take that. Just take that. It's a foul shot, Joe. It's a foul shot.
No call. No call.
You got to be
No
joking.
call.
Wow.
Should have took that money line. Lakers. Plus 1,500. Should have put just a quick $50 on it.
And I'm so like nice to Ben at times too, right? Like when I stick up for the fair things, they're factual, right? But you can't run from that little shit sometimes. That's not a fucking call on us.
That's such a flop.
They're giving him. We're watching them give him this game. This is unbelievable.
Freaking
This
three
is one of the
name,
worst.
three-name flopper.
One of the worst refing I've ever seen in the NBA so far this
See,
season.
Ralph, even Ralph's saying it.
Holy shit! How is that a foul?
And he doesn't want to challenge it because they only got one. They only got one timeout.
Where's the foul? Where's the call?
Foul.
It's a joke.
That's a foul.
Oh, I can't believe we're even in this mess. He's gonna pull up right here. Gonna pull up.
Yep.
He's not. He shouldn't let him off the hook, but he didn't let him off the hook. But too late. Oh, stop! That got through.
Let's
Oh
go!
my God. That got through.
Let's go!
We're gonna lose this game now. This is a disgrace. All because of baby elbow jumper. Baby elbow. Cousin elbows.
Mr. Baby Elbow
It's
Jump.
friggin' Schroeder, Ben.
I told you, man. What I tell
Don't
you?
start jacking. Take.
Go rebound, Danny. Go rebound, Danny. Go rebound, Danny. Let's go. Come on. Take him, Ben. Just take him like you did in the first.
He ain't built for this life, man.
Come on!
He's not built for this life at the end, man.
Oh my God.
At that point in the game, you're not looking for a shot by Danny Green.
Oh, look how uneasy Ben looks.
Holy shit! Here we go. Here we go. I can't believe that pass got through to KCP in the corner. That's crazy. Jesus.
The friggin' flopper of all people hit the three, too.
No, I mean, they lost this game because of bad calls. I mean, there's two bad calls down the stretch. The no call on Joe
Yeah, the KCP call right there. I mean, I don't know how you saw that as a foul.
changes the whole game.
Right.
Then they go down and hit a three. You're up 4 with the basketball. You're up 4 with the basketball. You close the game out right there.
Up four with 1:45 left to go in the game.
Ralphie, just so you know, whenever we talk Lakers, me and you, KCP is dead to me. He's dead to me. He's dead to me now.
Yeah, that was a bad call. That was a bad call. I don't know how you call that a foul.
No, we talked about it for a long period of this show. I mean, this is where you got to play great defense. And this is where, for this last 9 seconds, if you play great defense, you get out with a missed shot right here, right? And you get out with a dub. Momentum's crazy, TTP. Basketball's nuts with runs. It's just unbelievable. But guess what? I mean, you're on a 15-0 run. I mean, a 15-0 run you allowed? You allowed a 15-0 run? Part of that's on coaching, too.
That's why the NBA is so hard to bet on the lines to start the game. I almost feel like it's a better sport to bet in game.
No, it's just because you can ride
you get a feel of what.
Yeah.
Or if there even is waves, because sometimes teams just don't have a wave.
It's tough to bet live because there's so many waves with basketball, and it's just a game of runs, man. It's just a game of runs, just like we're seeing here. So when we bet basketball, we typically bet we try to stay with like heavy favorites. Even though it might seem like a long line, like -11, -10, because you used to bet in football, but they be covering that shit a lot.
Let's go.
A lot of prop bets with the NBA. A lot of prop bets.
I was all over today with Bron over 25 points. That was an easy call.
I had Joel over 25. I had Tobias over 1.5 threes.
Fucking Joe.
And
How did Anthony get free like that?
Screen.
They screened down. And he rolled to the basket.
Shit.
So here's the question. This is where we are with the Sixers.
Who trade Ben Simmons tomorrow?
No. Who takes the shot, right? You double. They're going to double Joel. They'll give it to Joel down low. They'll double out. They're going to double them, and then who takes the shot?
Tobias. It can't be Danny, and it can't be Seth tonight.
Yeah,
he's freaking ice cold.
Right.
I mean, it can. You can step up.
Well, no, I mean,
and are you comfortable with?
Because they're cold. They're shooters. They're going to shoot. I mean, none of those guys are going to be scared to shoot the ball. It's just who's open, right?
I understand that, but who you trust right now, Greg?
Yeah, exactly.
Any one of them. They're all pros.
Nah,
man. Who do you trust tonight? Come on, one guy who's made.
I trust Tobias and Seth.
Yeah, I don't trust them boys.
How many points did Seth have? You said, Rye?
2.
Wow.
0 threes.
There's different mentality though. Shooters shoot.
I'm not saying he's not going to take the shot, Greg. I'm saying who do you trust more?
I just said Tobias then Seth.
Okay, that's my point. I don't trust Seth right now. I'm going to say that he's probably going to make this right now, but it's fine. Okay, Tobias.
I would actually trust Danny Green. He's been
Kobe, baby.
Yeah.
I trust Tobias.
Never forget. That was a quick Tobias ring out of the kid. Go to bed, Ralph.
GG, boys.
Night. Stay down, Davis. LeBron, go try some more.
Good game.
Let's go. Hey,
where's Sixers Stadium at?
Real quick. This is what I'm talking about. You just need another guy who wants to step up and score in big moments. And that guy who we've been talking about all show tonight, who's been the most consistent player probably in the league through his stretch here, has been Tobias Harris. He just makes a consistency. He walks in the
one bad game. One bad game.
Yeah, one bad game, Comer. One.
First game of the season.
Listen, it's a great because you know they're going to switch, right? And they switched on it, which they should have never switched. The fact that they switched, that's on LeBron too, Ralphie. That's on your king, babe. He switched and let Caruso.
He went over to help. What are you talking about? He went over to help.
What are you talking about?
He went over to help after the switch. What are you talking about?
Why'd you switch?
After the switch, he went over to help.
Why switch?
I don't know, but that statement doesn't make sense. Though he went over to help.
It makes a lot of sense. He wasn't over.
But it does when you don't switch.
Okay.
Switch. You know what a switch is? They switch.
Sorry.
Brett Brown used to switch all day. Remember?
Yep.
That's why we lost a lot of games. Uncle Brett. He used to switch on us all day and then cost us in situations like that. Like that should be an automatic. LeBron doesn't leave the bias there because Caruso can't cover him, and he just proved it.
As soon as he made the shot, Joel started smiling. I love it. Workman's Day, 24-7-3.
I mean, that was an exciting ending, but that should have never come down to that.
That's how these games are, though, man. With basketball, with NBA, they're just runs.
Yeah.
That's how they are.
And now we switch on ESPN to a riveting matchup of the Timberwolves versus Golden State Warriors.
Hey, 1 versus 2. There we go. That's something.
Oh. Well,
A huge win. It's a huge win. I don't care how you get them.
Coming up clutch with Tobias too. Coming up clutch. That was my biggest shot on him in the past. He can't come up clutch in big moments. He did tonight.
Well, and I think too. We've seen them, and with COVID, our lineup shuffled in and out a lot. We've seen them play up and down to a couple of teams over this last stretch, but we wanted to see them go against a team that could challenge them, to measure them. And I thought tough stretch down the end there, but overall they played very, very well tonight. Very, very well against, obviously the defending champions.
So I'll run
very
down.
happy.
I'll run down the final numbers for the Sixers, and then we'll go to the Lakers for the notables. So Tobias Harris, Mr. Clutch, as we call him tonight, 10 for 16 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3 for 24 points. Danny, 5 of 11 from the field, 4 of 9 from 3 for 14 points. We got Joel, Mr. MVP, Embiid, 8 for 18 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3 for 28 points. Ben Simmons, 8 for 15. We got 15 shots from Mr. Simmons. 11 rebounds, 10 assists. His third triple-double of the year at finishing with 17 points. Seth Curry, probably his worst game of the year, but it didn't really matter in the end. 1 for 6 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3 for 2 points. And then bench guys, you got Furkan with 8 points, Shake with 9, Thibault with 1, Maxey with 4, and Dwight with goose egg. And then over with the Lakers, you've got Anthony Davis, 9 for 18 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3 for 23. LeBron, 12 for 22, 2 for 5 from 3 for 34. Then you got Gasol, 8 points, Schroeder, 7 for 14 for 16 points, and Mr. Flop, KCP, dead to me, Caldwell Pope, 1 for 3 for 3 points.
And you know what? Another thing too, if you think about this, because I just said what was mostly everybody's thinking, right? They're going to give it to Embiid, double, kick out, right? Mm-hmm. How about Doc having the balls to do a pick and roll there with Harris?
And
right?
Seth, who was ice cold, as
right,
alluded to, right?
Yeah. And then if you think about it, how about his confidence, right? He knows and understands, like you guys said, Harris is my number 2. He needs to be in these moments. He needs to know how to make these shots against big-time players, against a big-time team when you need a win. Shout out to this, and that's what I said before, fellas. That's what I said before. They're going to make the finals because of coaching. That was a great coaching call right there. Anybody else would have gave it to your star and let him go to work. But no, what did they do? They ran a pick and roll with Harris to get the better matchup, to get a good shot. Shout out to Doc, man.
It's trust, and and that's a huge part of it. And it's the guy, and it's execution. You also got to hit it. And that's a big part of it too. And that's a huge shot for Tobias Harris. And when we talk about teams, period, I look at how resilient you are. Right. I look at how you can overcome, something bad happening and still get something good to happen. Right. It's hard to do. Your response to negativity, your response to a 15-0 run or whatever the hell it was. Right. It was a big run by the Lakers in the fourth quarter. And in a big moment, you're able to be resilient enough to trust in yourself and your teammates to be able to, and your coaching, to get a look there and bury a shot. That's huge. That makes this win's even more impressive to me than it would be if we won by 10. And everybody's going to tell me I'm crazy for saying that. No, this is more impressive because, it's easy to win by double digits sometimes in this league. Mm-hmm. Right? Teams go on runs. That's the best team in the Western Conference. That's the number 1, I think Joe said, the number 1 efficiency rank in the NBA defensively. All right, in the Lakers. So, they clamped down. They played great D in the fourth. They got away with some no calls. Fine. That's going to happen when you play the Lakers. All right. But you're resilient enough to withstand it all. You withstanded that run. And that's what I look for, a young team where your core is young and you're looking to find out who's going to make plays if not Joel Embiid. That's the biggest question mark when we talked about this team earlier on this show. And it's the biggest question mark that we'll continue to talk about. And that's why in the offseason, we talked about Doc and Toby, their connection, and you're seeing it. He's been the most consistent guy. I mean, 10 for 16 is ridiculous efficiency in this league. That's efficient 16 shots. And the fact that Ben took 15, that means you're going to get a smaller dose out of somebody else like Kerry. So that's where the give and take's going to come. There's going to be nights Seth's hot, and you're not seeing much from Ben offensively because there's only so many basketballs to go around for a starting five when you have a guy like Joel Embiid touching the rock too. You know what I mean? So, he had 18 shots. Toby had 16 shots. Ben had 15. It's a lot of shots to go around right there. And that's what we want. That's what we want. We talked about Ben. Hey, you ain't leaving the game without 16 plus. And we win. If you leave with 16 plus, we're going to win more games than not. And what's this team's record with this entire starting five together? All right.
Undefeated.
I think it's 10-0 now, 9-0 at least.
Okay, that's not small sample size. That becomes a fucking trend, peeps. That is now equal to a trend. I know we got a lot of people checking in right now, and if you are, whatever platform you're following us on, listen, help us out. All right, help the algorithm out. Pound that follow, pound that subscribe, like, wherever you're at. Okay, like the video, comment in. We're going to read them all, too. Pound that follow. Wow, somebody turned their phone on. I love it. Somebody's listening.
The other side of it too is especially with this new, coaching staff, new roster. We haven't seen them take a lot of punches and then come back, right? So you need to see that from a team. Hey, can you get punched in the face with the number one team in the NBA, and how do you respond? How do you come back? And I think it was it Nate, you brought it up. Doc drawing up a play for Toby, knowing that was going to give us the best matchup because LeBron likes to switch, right? So we knew, because we lived with the switch defense for the last 5-6 years with Uncle Brett. So we knew what LA was going to do, and he drew up the right play at the right time.
I'll tell you what, too. Tobias Harris is absolutely an all-star right now. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, this is the guy we hoped we were going to get, right? This is the guy that we hoped that we would trade for, and bringing Doc on. This is what we wanted to come out of him. And
there's people on Twitter tweeting that he's now underpaid. By the way, I love how that flips. I love how that flips.
Well, you know what?
He made a big shot. Let's not get carried away here.
No, is he overpaid? Absolutely, but there's plenty of time on that contract. If this is the guy we end up getting, a 8 or 9 guy, pretty much consistently night in and night out, who can make clutch shots at the end of games when you need to call his number, guess what? Every penny of that, in my opinion, then is pretty much justified. I mean, not the best contract in the league, but it doesn't look anywhere near as bad as what it looked like last year.
Yes,
listen, last year you can make case that he's a borderline all-star too. His whole career is semi-borderline-ish for the most part, but it's about putting it together, over a long sample size, right? And
consistency.
Yeah.
That's been his issue. His issue's been consistency.
And it helps playing with a guy like Joe, right? I mean, that's not going to hurt you. But listen, it's impressive. And I would say that, Jimmy hasn't played really this year at all. But, right now, you can make the argument, even if Jimmy's playing, that he's more efficient in his shots. You know what I mean? In his shots. Not that Jimmy isn't. Like, Jimmy will be scorching hot and then have 5 for 15 pieces or 5 for 17 pieces. You know what I mean? And I love Jimmy. I'll take Jimmy back in a heartbeat. But you know what I'm saying, that it could turn out that, we could be talking like I tried to tell people which one were you going to max? And I said, I'll max the younger one. And everybody fucking laughed at me. I said, I'll take both. That's how I would operate. But that's not what they're going to do. Jimmy doesn't want to be here, right? I got to max one of them. So I'd rather have the younger guy anyway.
Jimmy didn't want to be here because of Ben and Brett.
Yeah, regardless. But I'd rather have the younger guy anyway on a max deal. When you're talking about 5-year deal, I want the younger guy.
Nah, I'm taking Jimmy all day.
I think 3 years from now you're not going to want that. I think 3 years from now you're going to be like, Tom, you know what? I'll tell you right off.
I'll let you know in 3 years.
Yeah, let me know. Check back in. Let me know this year. You know what I mean? You could be telling me this year.
Yeah.
You'll be telling me this year real soon. So this is an impressive win the way they got it done.
Mm-hmm.
And that
shows growth for a young team.
And Tom, I think it goes back to what you were saying, Tom, to where, you said, people might disagree with you, saying that, not that you preferred a close victory over something, a 10-point plus type victory, but I think we learned more it coming down to a moment like that instead of us having a comfortable victory type thing. We learned more. Not that it was more fun, because those couple minutes it was not too much fun in here. Watching them collapse and and possibly lose against the Lakers at home. But to me, I think we learned more, and I think we can come out of this game not only as a fan base, but I think for the players, learning more and to build things off of it to where, hey, we did not have a good fourth quarter, but we shook that off, came out of a timeout when a lot of our guys were cold or just non-aggressive, and we made the needed shot. I think that's huge. And again, against, like you said, Tom, the number one team as far as defensive efficiency in the league. I think that's huge.
Yeah, and the number one team in the West and the number one team in basketball. Really. You know what I mean? Yeah. Defending champs. I mean, at the end of the day, they're defending champs. I don't care where you played them. They're great on the road. I mean, they were 9-0 on the road coming into this game. I mean, it's not like they're better on the road than they are at home. So this is important. And it's important. And nobody can – I know people out there. I saw Alan chiming in from Orlando. What's up, Alan?
What's up, Alan?
I saw that. Orlando Eagles. That means he knows where the wing shack is.
Oh, yeah.
What up, Alan?
Lou says my heart is pumping. Yeah, I mean, this is – not that I don't –
just a lot of bad calls tonight. A lot of calls went for the Sixers tonight. I feel robbed.
I didn't know he was still here. I thought we muted him for the rest of the show.
Yeah, you got quiet up there, buddy.
Oh, man. Nah, just letting you guys go. Go win for you guys tonight. Toby finally hits a big shot in his career. And I totally agree with the people that are saying on Twitter, he's very, very underpaid right now for the 76ers.
So you're lashing out right now. You're lashing out with sarcasm. That's what you're doing. That's what we're doing right now. Okay.
Oh, man.
You're lashing out with sarcasm.
Yeah, I mean,
as you would say, Ralphie, hate to see it.
Yeah.
Really hate to see it.
And Jesse, look at his numbers. I mean, they're super consistent. His field goal percentage is high. His 3-point percentage is high. He's just been really good this year. Been really, really good. But this is what you get when you're healthy. It's a different basketball team. It's crazy. It's a great win, though. It's a great win.
Up, Pop?
What up, Pop? And
It's
something you can build off.
Absolutely.
Even more. Not that you can't build off a 15-point win, because that's delicious too. But the way this game played out, this is built, right? Because I always talk about in any sport, like I just want wins. I don't give a shit. Be ugly, beautiful. I don't care. Sometimes blowouts are the worst thing for me, right? Because I get complacent.
Yep.
Make sense? Not, what I mean? If you're great and you blow everybody else, then so bad. But you know what I mean? It can equal complacency, right? Like at least tonight, as a coaching staff, I got a lot to coach up in the fourth quarter when they made that run, right? So I got still things to teach, which I think is so important.
A lot of that run was centered around a string of bad shots that we took on the offensive end.
Yep.
Because we were up 12 with under 3 minutes to go. You figured it was Cruise City, and it wasn't. And so that run that they went on was aided by us on the offensive end.
Yo, look at Don. Look at Don.
Oh my God, Don.
Go. Whoa, my God.
Appreciate it, Don.
Appreciate it.
Whoa, Donovan, thank you.
Appreciate you, Don. And listen, anybody wants to help us out on YouTube, that's how you can support. Super chat. Donovan, let's go. Huge goddamn win. Huge goddamn tip. Can't appreciate you enough. Appreciate
Donovan, that's 100 Big Macs for Ralph, even in a loss. Look at that.
I just need my royalties cut. That's all. Make sure you send on the Money Pop podcast, man. That's all I got.
Get the money from Chris.
Yeah, right.
Wizards getting blown out again tonight. Yep, that's tough. That's tough. He's going to be dealt somewhere.
Hey.
Eagle Slayer says Doris Burke's annoying, but I'll still pipe it. What keyword is she saying to you, Eagle? Like, what keyword is she using, like, in game? You know what I mean? Like, what's she speaking to you? Like, it's just so efficient going to the basket. Is that what she's hitting you with?
Does that set the tone? Does that set the tone for you?
That's great taking you off the dribble.
Yeah.
He's not really a fan of the pick and roll, the double team.
Is it the hand comments on Kawhi when Doris talks about Kawhi's hands? Is that what starts?
Justin, I would say like I'm never against trying to get Bradley Beal, but like I'll say it again. I got a starting 5 that's 10-0 together. Am I really in the business of changing that? Like am I? And I'm a huge Bradley Beal guy, but am I in the business of changing that?
I think the only way you would be is if you believe we don't have what it takes to put us over the top to get us to the finals.
See,
I think
a lot of us aren't there right now.
I think Daryl Morey believes that he said it early on the pregame. He said we're championship or bust.
Not just finals or bust. Like it'd be one thing to be like, oh, finals appearance. He said championship. Like
he said championship or bust.
And
yes, that means he's going to be active and he's going to be looking to do something. But I don't think it's at least not selling Ben for Beal.
I don't think it's going to be in the trade market either, because you have to remember they have their mid-level exception. When buyouts start, the whole thing was, is this a destination that when these players who end up getting bought out would want to come to for that mid-level exception, right?
We are now.
This is the type of team, we finally have the type of team that guys will look at and say, I could go there and be the guy to put them over the top.
Fucking Disneyland now when you're winning. Listen to me. James, how the hell can you tell me I can't think like that? That's factual information, baby. That's 10-0 where you're starting 5. That's on the sneeze over. Like I got to give something up to get something. I ain't getting Bradley Beal for free. So what do I got to give up to get Bradley Beal, who I love? Okay, but what am I giving up? I just don't know. Chemistry is so important in sports. We just want to get. I love it though. Like I always want to trade too. Like I love it. Okay, but like people got to put the trade machine the fuck down. Like if you're struggling, trade machine me all day. If we're struggling, please trade machine me. Hit me over the head with this deal. Smack me in the face with this deal. Great. Okay. I don't want to hear trade machines when I'm the best team in the Eastern Conference. Like trade machine for big names. It's like almost stupid talk. Like what else do you want? And they're going to come in and you're going to have a better record? You're all worried about fucking stats. I'm worried about wins and losses. You're all worried about stats. I'll worry about wins and losses and get the broad street. Because wins and losses get me the broad street. Stats don't get me the broad. Wins and losses do. And I like this team the way it's shaped. Now, buyouts, mid-level guys, trades for your bench. Hey, count me in, babe. You know what I mean? Count me in. But the mess with this starting 5, I think is outlandish. I think you're thinking like you're playing a fucking video game. I swear. And that's not anything about Bradley Beal. Okay? He's a special player. But I'm also giving something up really good to get him too. Depending on who that would be.
You gotta give up a lot.
A lot.
Money-wise, it's got to be Ben or Tobias. Just based off of money. You know what I mean?
And more. I got to give up Ben and more. No, screw that. I would give up so much for Bradley Beal if this team was even, let's say, 7-3 with starting 5 together. Then I'm going to have the conversation maybe a little bit more. But even that's a good record. But you're talking about undefeated together. I don't want to screw none of that up. So yeah, guys that get bought out or vets, we're going to need, right? Of course. And there's going to be some key pieces, guys. Maybe in the 4, like we talked about before, Rye, or maybe some extra guard play. I don't know, right? But they're going to be out there. Like everybody rushes for the star, and the star doesn't necessarily equal because you have it looks great. It looks great. Beal, Joe, and Tobias. It looks great. It looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna? I mean, how does it play? I don't know. I know how this plays.
And people need to realize the 2 things. Number 1, why would, and TCP literally just said it, why would Washington even want Ben with Westbrook right now? Why would they do that? And number 2, I don't think this roster, and again, I'm the same person who was seriously thinking about completing the Harden deal. So I'm not like against trading Simmons at all costs. But at the end of the day, us being 10-0 when we're all 5 starters are playing together and we are that team, if you traded Simmons, that's like a roster overhaul. And I understand it's one player, but it's really not. Like everyone just talks about, trade Simmons. But in order to get Beal, you're going to have to trade multiple players. You're probably going to have to get rid of Maxey. You're probably going to have to get rid of a Matisse. And I'm just saying, those guys aren't Simmons. They're not superstars. But you're going to have to give up a handful of guys to get a Bradley Beal. And I'm not saying Bradley Beal doesn't make us better, but I don't think right now us, and I'm not just basing it off of this victory, 10 wins, 10-0, when we are that roster. If you want to say this roster needs tweaking, okay, well, that falls more in line with what Doc's saying. Add a player here, maybe fix something here as far as the depth.
I need to find double digits off the bench somewhere.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Real quick, let's pay a bill or two here. All right, let's give a shout out to a new sponsor at A2D, bodycheckwellness.com. Okay, listen, promo code A2D for 20% off your order. Everything CBD wise, from gummies to things for your pets, for yourself, to focus and clarity stuff, like mushroom infused stuff, like really, let me tell you, really good stuff. I think the clarity and focus, I'm fucking on point. All right, let me just lock that in for you. On point. And I talked to Travis and Riley Cote and I told them that, and they're like, it's good, isn't it? I said, listen, and listen, I'm not as smart to read it, but go to the website and read off how good and how well put together these products are, and you're gonna fall in love. And you might need different things. There's energy and endurance stuff, like so many things. And you can talk about putting the right things together to get the perfect stuff you need for your body, but also it helps immune system help. Like unbelievable effects you get from it. Bodycheckwellness.com, promo code A2D, 20% off. Riley Cote, once a month, twice a month, going to be joining the Hockey Happy Hour on A2D. All right. And they're going to be talking it up and mucking it up. And he's going to be giving away a signed jersey. And we're going to have other giveaways on them nights. So a lot of fun. And on them nights, the promo code is going to be 40%, baby. Woo! Nobody gets 40%, but my boys over at bodycheckwellness.com. Check them out. Go check their website out. Promo code A2D, 20% off. Appreciate you, fam. Let us take a time for the Bills. They're important. We can't live off Donovan. You know what I mean? We got to make sure that we're deeper pockets than just Don, because Don's got some deep pockets. Now, if we had 10 Donovans tonight, I don't got to read shit off. Pop, it's not 2K, and that is factual. What happened in Golden State is special. Does everybody understand this? Yeah. You had unselfish players when you got the big three. Okay? Stephen Clay was able to be unselfish in that role. Make sense? Like Clay took a backseat to KD in a way. So like everybody,
Clay was also so good defensively as well.
Real, I mean that's the key, and that's why they won. Him and Draymond defensively were impactful. That's what nobody wants to talk about. You got to be able to D people up to win in the playoffs, guys. We've watched enough playoff basketball before. We've watched it. The team that wants to play defense is the team that's probably going to go the furthest. All right, now do you got to hit back big shots, etc.? Yeah. But the more you watch this team play, there's big shots on this roster. There's big shot guys in Joel. Danny Green has been proven to hit big shots in his career. So I don't want to hear anything else. All right? Seth Curry, you would expect him to be able to hit a big open shot, right? We've seen it a little bit in sample size before COVID hit him. Okay? Tobias tonight, big shot. There's only one guy in your starting five that you don't know it can hit a big shot, but he can go to the rim. And that's Ben. You know what I mean? But even your bench, you have big Jesse. Look at you.
Oh, Jesse.
What's up, Jesse?
You got to write something in, Jess.
Yeah,
we're going to the next one for free. You know what I mean? Next one's on the house.
Yeah. Thumbs up or something. Give us just an emoji. Give it just an emoji, something.
I can't believe you would say he's trash, though, Howie. Like trash? Like the guy's got so many rings. Come on, babe. He's got more rings.
3 rings on 3 separate teams.
If he wins a championship this year, Doris said it. You know, the guy was talking about Doris. This will be good for you. This is another Doris thing.
Getting all boned up.
He'd be the first one in the history of sports to win 4 different championships on 4 different teams.
And complete his own personal three-peat.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And James was saying earlier, James Rossman, I appreciate you, James. But you're trying to tell us that if we got rid of Simmons, it would be a tweak? It'd be tweaking the roster? Really? A max guy? Really? Something that Ben Simmons, he displays a ton of things? If you just got rid of him, that would be tweaking? Come on now. Come on. No.
Yeah, getting rid of Ben is more than just a tweak. He does too much to be a tweak, whether you like him or not. he does a lot of things for this basketball team.
Especially at the end of the day, like we said, it wouldn't even just be Ben. There's no planet where it would just be Simmons for Beal. No, it's just not.
I mean, money-wise, it works. Money-wise, straight up works, right?
Yes.
But what's enticing, as you alluded to earlier, what's enticing Washington to do that if it's just straight up? Because you're right, you're not teaming Ben and Russell together.
Yeah, that's a terrible move by Washington.
No, I'd rather want the bias. I don't want the bias. If you got to think about this, if Washington's going to move Bradley Beal, okay, they're moving him to somewhere where they're getting expiring contracts and they're getting out of money and they're starting over. They don't want your star for 4 years because their one star isn't getting it done anyway, right? So they're looking to restart it all, and that would be the move they're in.
Yep.
So that's how I look at it. I don't think we're even in the business for that. We're in the business for other moves, but regardless, I mean, we're having a good start to our year, and I just don't think we need to be shaking that up.
Todd, what up, Todd?
Yo, where does Westbrook grow? Because he don't fit over there.
He doesn't.
He does not fit.
Not even a little bit.
Like, that was a weird landing spot for him from jump.
Yeah, I think the spot was because they wanted to help Bill, right? Bill needed help, so they needed another star. But my question is, though, where does Westbrook grow? Like, he doesn't fit anything over there. They're going to have to get off him. They're not going to – I don't think they're going to trade Beal and be stuck with Westbrook and go with the Westbrook show. I honestly think it's the other way around. I think they're going to move Westbrook. But where does he go? Like, what's his – I just wonder what his value on the market is right now.
Charlotte makes sense just because – like, I'm saying that he would make sense with Charlotte just because once we get back to the ticket sales and everything, he's one of those guys. Like, he needs to go to, like, a smaller market right now because he's not –
Okay,
but can
OKC? The funny thing is OKC makes a lot of sense.
But can Charlotte afford him though now? Because can Charlotte afford him after giving Gordon Hayward that max or that high deal?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Real quick, fuck that. Kenan says the last 3 minutes were bad. Yeah, but guess what? What was your response to bad? A big shot for the win. Go to the locker room with a win against the best team in the West and the best team essentially maybe in the NBA besides us now. So let's go. Now, if we lose that game, Kenan, I am livid. All right. And then the Ben Simmons non-elbow jumper, I should say, would be getting smoked. All right.
Tobias bailed him out tonight.
Yeah, people are talking too many trades up in here. Too much.
Yeah, you said trade machine, Tom, and they're like, "Oh, trade machine, okay."
I just can't. Like, if we were average,
later, Frank.
If we were average, I would say sure, right? Like, if we were average and we weren't getting the most out of our players, and hey, I'm up for a change.
Yeah.
But we did all this. I'll say this a million times, and I don't give a shit anymore. But like, we did all this and all this waiting out, and then finally getting Doc and Daryl. Just to trade one of these three? The fuck do I want to trade one of these three for? I want to try to build around these three. How can I win with these three? That's what I'm looking to figure out how to do. Right? And when you have an MVP candidate, it takes pressure off of them other two too. And you don't need as much out of them nightly when he's playing at the level he's been playing at. He's walking into 28 a night. This is all you need. What'd you get? 23? What did Harris give us again tonight? 23 again? 24. The other night he gave us 23. So 24 tonight. I mean, what else do you need? 28 out of one guy, 24 out of another guy, right? Then who else is mucking it up for me? That's it. Like, I don't expect another guy in the 20s. Now everybody else got to muck it up. And Ben mucked it up. Danny mucked it up for us. It's a big shot. So, I mean, you get a little bit out of everybody. And it's even a bigger win because you got nothing out of Seth. Like, zero, zilch. Like, you got 2 points, I think. So you got nothing out of Seth Curry. And really not a great production from your bench night either. It was okay. Nothing to write home about. That's a huge fucking win. That's a huge win. Shit. If I got like 40 out of my bench tonight, then I'm like, all right. You know, we need more out of our starters. But,
Especially in that where Embiid got no calls, too. Like, how many times have we seen he just goes to the line consistently? You know, he only went to the line 13 times. And I say only, people are like, oh, that's a lot. Joel could have been at the line a lot more.
Absolutely can. Did tonight change your guys' opinions on anything? Do you, like, you know, it's early in the season still, per se. I mean, it's only 72er, so it's not as early as it usually is. So you factor, you tack another 10 games onto this schedule. So it's a little bit deeper, right, than it usually is. So you're in a good spot. But did this change you at all? Because to me, this was a measuring stick game for this basketball team. Because people told me they didn't play nobody. I got to hear this in the NBA. Like, every night you're playing somebody in the NBA. I don't want to hear you're not playing nobody. Because you watch guys in bubbles, the bubble go off for, I forget his even fucking name, for Indiana. I think TJ Warren. So I thought you were Michael Jordan. So
Bubble Jordan.
Yeah, so I don't, like, night to night, you're always playing the best in the world, essentially, right? I know that's every sport, but like basketball, you know, guys can just go off out of nowhere. But tonight was the measuring stick against the best team in the West and how we matched up. They're fully healthy. We're fully healthy. Where do we stand in all this, right? And when you're down one with 12 seconds on the clock, you're starting to wonder where you stand. Right? You're starting to wonder, are we as good as we think we are? And then you get a great pick and roll, a great play call, and a bucket out of one of your max guys and a big one for the win. Okay? That measuring stick has me being able to say officially this team is going to the NBA Finals. I'm sold on it.
You know, it's funny. As much as I say that they're not going to the finals, I actually have a future bet that they are.
Dirty dog.
Where'd you get it at?
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up right now because I just remember. I was like, hold up, because it's the same with the Super Bowl. I have like the Super for us at the Money Pop Podcast. The Super Bowl is going to be all prop bets because we were on Tampa early and we were on KC early. So like we're locked in. I have no. People are asking me, Nate, what do you think about the Super Bowl? What's your play for the Super Bowl? You know, what you guys are going to do for the Super Bowl? They want to get it in early. First of all, everybody just relax. It's 2 weeks away. So everybody just chill. That's the first thing. Second thing is we don't have a move because we're on both sides. We've hedged our own bet through the whole year. So it's just funny how that plays. But let me look up what I have on the future for. I definitely have the Sixers winning the East. As much as I don't think they are, I should be talking into existence, right? I should be on the other side of this. Let me look it up real quick. But to answer your question though, Tom, that you had thrown out there, I think it just solidifies that the Sixers are the best team in the East right now, right? That win against the best team in the West is just solidifies why we're the number one seed in the East right now for me. Does it really change anything I thought about this team? No. I mean, we've always known that they're good at home. It's not just a crowd. It's just they're good at home. They win at home. They typically don't lose. So, I think that I think we'll see though. In the playoffs, it's money time, 7-game series. So we'll see what they do against some of these Milwaukee Bucks or Miami Heat. Type teams in a 7-game series. And to answer your question, I got them at plus 500.
Okay.
Got a $300 bet to win $1,500.
Nice.
We'll see with the reach around. I see you.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it plays. I'll be singing another tune if they get close.
Oh, here we go.
Here comes the switch over.
It's a battery gate.
Yeah.
Tom, to your question, I think the whole start of the year changed my outlook because I remember being, a little not necessarily down on them, but I wanted to see it first, before I kind of bought in just because of how hurt we've been the last few years. So going into the season, I didn't have them ranked as high, but obviously we've seen through the first handful of games, and this win tonight just solidified any doubt that, it was our schedule, we didn't play anybody. Well, no, that was answered tonight, right? So what we've seen on the floor the first quarter of this season is legit, is real. The 10-0 with the starting lineup isn't a mirage, and this team is ready to, kick ass and take names.
Yeah, for sure. That's how I looked at it.
Yeah, I would say it didn't change my outlook for the team. But what it did, it kind of confirms, I would say, for me, it's newfound. The newfound comfortability in Tobias Harris late in games. Because we know, and I'm not even just talking playoffs. I mean, when we would have 5 minutes to go in the fourth, and we would need, a big time three from Tobias wide open in the corner to go up, let's say 11, that could, kind of seal it or make it comfortable, right? And he would never make it. He would never make that go-to shot. And for him to make a lot of key shots late in the game, and then that sealer, that's huge. And people will say, "Oh, Ryan, that's only one game." Well, it only takes one game to get that started. Like I said, we hadn't really seen that from Tobias in the past. We hadn't. Anytime they went to him, it was automatic that he wasn't going to make it. They pulled out a great play going to Doc Rivers. Credit to him. Also clarifying that, God, he's doing something that Brett Brown could never do. And that was draw up a really good play that goes to a guy that isn't the obvious choice in Embiid or a go-to shooter. That isn't Embiid crashing and then double teaming and kicking it out. They drew up a play. It worked. And I think you can only build off of that. I think only positives can come out of that for Tobias, for Doc Rivers, knowing that Tobias can be that guy late in games, especially in that final play. And like I said before, we would have liked for this game to be comfortable. It was for a lot. It was for a majority of the game. But at the end of the day, we learned more giving up that lead and then coming back and having a little bit of a resurgence defensively and a resurgence, especially coming out of the timeout late. So I think that's huge. The other thing, I would say my one negative is it goes to Shake Milton right now. We talk about the bench, and this is going to happen. I mean, I'm not expecting him to be Lou Williams, but he got off to a really good start in the season, him being that instant offense guy. He's going through a little bit of a lull right now. It's going to be important as we continue going throughout the season, and especially in games where Joel isn't here, because we know he's going to miss a handful of games here and there. I mean, hell, he might not play the next game depending on how he feels coming after that fall on his back, but we need a little bit more out of him because I know he only played 21, 22 minutes, but I'm going to need a little bit more from him like we saw early in the season.
Kramer?
For me, the keys to this season, was Tobias. I agree wholeheartedly with Ryan, and I think the important thing to factor in here, guys, in a game like this, if they're blowing big leads like that down the stretch late in the season, I'd be a little bit concerned going into the playoffs. However, at this point in the year, it's almost a good time to be battle-tested in a tight game against one of the better teams in the league.
Yeah.
At this point in the year. And again, the key factor going into the year when we talked about it, I think a lot of us felt like, what Tobias Harris are we going to get? Because we know if he is the guy who we thought we initially traded for, he would be able to stretch the floor. He would be able to be a guy who could make shots when you needed him to be made. If Joe doesn't have an opportunity, we knew he was going to have to be the number 2 guy, essentially late in games. And at this point in the year, I mean, literally, you take out just the first game of the year, he has been spot on. You're right, Tom. Might be the most consistent player if you look at his stat line across every game he's played since the start of the year. So I think my expectations are increased because I wasn't sure, to start the year. I definitely think they need to go out there and they need to solidify somebody who can score points off the bench consistently. Tonight you had Corky make a couple big shots. We talked about Shake, and he's had some big games. I'm not worried about guys like Seth and Danny Green in the starting lineup. I think they do what they do, and I think Seth will be fine. I think he's a little gun-shy coming back from COVID. But especially if this team could go out there, they've shown me that they might be one piece away now. I'm confident in that. And I also have confidence in the GM to go out and get that piece.
Chrome, I'll let you know when I pull it up. I'm actually going to find his stats from every game because I actually want to see, because I don't think it really moves that much. I think you're right. I think it's within the same, point differential every game. So when I find that, I'll let you know.
You had one bad game.
Yep.
Everything's right where it should be, essentially. You know what I mean? And he's averaging right around where he should be. And he's lived up to the fact of being, the playing under Doc before and having a good year. And then Doc having a familiarity with him, right? So it's like a combo.
Now his rebounds seem to be down a little bit because it doesn't seem like they have him down low defensively. So I feel like his rebounds are down slightly, a couple rebounds a game. But overall, though, I mean, you're looking at opportunities. You're looking at his shot selection this year too. His quality opportunities and shot selection that he has this year seems to be spot on. Much, much better than last year. I felt like he really tried to enforce himself a lot last year, pressed a little bit, and I think that contributed to the inconsistency last year.
And a lot of that comes too is when your big man is playing at an MVP level, he gets open looks just based off of his emergence. So when your big man is taking over the game and the league for right now, that's going to open up and create more space for everybody.
So his game by game, I'll just read it to you real quick. He went 10, 17, 16, 26, 20, 24, 22, 19, 17. 3 inactive games for COVID. Came back 18, 21, 22, 23, 17, 25. And then tonight.
I mean, Mr. Consistency.
That's the bias, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's just the definition of it.
Back under Doc Rivers, too, where, as we saw when he was with LA and Doc, he had his best numbers. So
yeah, it's like somebody was saying
right there.
Yeah, somebody was saying earlier in the chat, like, "Oh, Doc made him better." I don't know if Doc made him better because this is what he was in Los Angeles. I think it was Brett made him worse. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what Tobias Harris was when we traded for him. This is the exact player.
No, listen. I mean, good coaching brings out the better. And listen, good coaching and accountability, and having guys that voices are going to matter in the NBA and in big time pro sports, right? If you don't necessarily, doesn't mean you don't respect the guy because you don't buy in everything he tells you, right? But it's the respect and then buying in to believing that these guys have won before, etc., and know what it takes. And that's not just coaching. That's the 3 vets you brought in too. Well, really 2 out of the 3, and one of them has won everywhere he's been. And Danny Green, Dwight won last year, sort of knows what it takes. Right? Seth, I mean, I'm sure his brother knows a little bit. So, but at the end of the day, like you add them pieces in and you add the coaching and not just Doc, but a guy that I said I would have been fine with as my head coach is Sam Cassell. So, I mean, you add them things in and you just feel good that all that stuff and that accountability is actually being held and running plays through Joel Embiid. Sorry. Running plays through Joel Embiid. That's what his offense always needs to run. I mean, how many fucking shows have we done over the last 3 years? Okay. And we begged for him to be in the block.
Yep. Begged, pleaded on our knees. Okay. Like we were in a communist country and we wanted $1. That's how we were pleading. Okay. Could be coming soon here too. But that's how we were pleading. Go for another day. That's how much we were pleading for this. You know what I mean? No, you're right.
We're just like, dude, nobody can stop him in the post. Get him in the post. Tonight he didn't get calls down there. I would have liked for him to go back to the basket a little bit more against AD, but he still got to his spots. Whatever, that's going to happen. He saw 28 tonight. But that's the point. We never did it before. He'd be out on the fucking perimeter running pick and rolls with a minute left in the game. What? So, like, as much as I gave Brett outs because, players do win in this league, but we talked about, like, with Mike and other guys, like, that it's always that next coach that comes in. And then you're growing up too, right? There's 2 factors. You're growing up and an accountability walks in the door. And not just in your coaching staff, which has a ton of winners, right? Sammy, Doc, winners. Then you look at your guys, the vets you brought in. They've been around guys or have been all-stars before. And it fucking matters.
Yeah.
Guys don't listen to jabrones, man. These are the best of the best. They don't listen to guys they don't respect or haven't won shit, especially young kids. These are still young kids. Ben's 23, 24. Man, you know what I mean? 23, 24. Like, you know what I mean? So accountability is huge at that age. And Joe's still in that age, boys, where the accountability can still get him while he's young enough.
Oh yeah, he's not a finished product by any means.
Yeah, so it's so important that this is such a big thing. The fact that Mr. Playoffs himself, Paul George, still can't hit a fucking shot, got us to where we are today. Thank you, Paul George, because we wouldn't have Doc in this staff. I was almost winless at the end for Sam Cassell. I mean, I got Sammy as my assistant. Look at his coaching staff. We crowned it before the year, right?
He's just and Sam's job is just like he's the Ben guy. Like he's been assigned to Ben. So it's like, oh my God, the guy who we wanted to be our head coach, he's just like the Ben Simmons guy, and we've got a guy above him. It's unbelievable. I do want to ask Ralphie, and be honest here, okay?
Yeah.
So you guys were undefeated on the road.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have
Keyword was.
Yeah, keyword was past tense. Past tense. Thanks to the Sixers, 10-9, 76ers. Do you have any major concerns or just normal concerns about your team coming out of this stretch, coming out of this game? Because it was it was playoff atmosphere, Ralphie.
Yeah. I just wish that maybe KCP would have gotten get him going a little earlier.
Get him going on the floor?
3 points is not enough in a big game like this.
Who?
KCP.
The flopper.
Who?
3 points. That's all he had.
Yeah, only 3 points.
That last 3 was all he had.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, it's unacceptable.
Yeah. So I wish he got going early, and I love the way the game went tonight. As an elite team, as both teams are, it's all fun and games to beat up against weaker opponents, and you really don't know what you have until you go up and against an elite team. And obviously, we saw that tonight with both teams, and obviously, you guys need to fix on some things as well as the Lakers as well.
Pop asks you, Ralphie, does Utah or Denver worry you?
I think you guys asked me the same question last year, and I forget what I said, but this year, no, they do not.
They don't worry me, and I'm not even a Lakers fan.
Yeah. It worked out for you. It worked out for you pretty well last year, Ralphie. So whatever you said, it worked.
Denver's better than Utah. I don't care what the records are right now. Like, they're a better team. They truly are. I just can't buy in the fucking Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. Like,
Denver can beat you numerous ways. Utah can beat you one way, and that's shooting the lights out.
Yeah, and they can. I mean, I'm not saying they can't. The Lakers are fucking good, dude. I mean, like, really good. And you expect buyout market maybe even get a little bit better. So, I this is such a huge win for me. This is such a measuring stick.
It is. It's a huge win.
Not even fun. And the way you got it.
Yeah.
The way you got it. Mr. Clutch himself. Is that Mike out there? Is that Mike?
Bryce Harris step back on Alex Caruso. Oh, man.
I'll tell you what, Caruso's a problem, though. The fact that you have Caruso and Schroeder, I mean, that still bothers me. It bothers me that you were able to get Schroeder on that team.
Mike took like 4 or 5 white dudes off dribbles for championships. Nothing against Mike. Right? I think Byron Russell might have been the only one. Right? But like, but at the end of the day, like, you need joking around about Mike, but this is what you need. This is what you need to be able to continue to get better and learn how to win together. And
now, does it worry you guys that you guys haven't picked up a win yet when Joel is not in the lineup?
Yeah,
because we're 0-4. Does that worry you some?
Yes, absolutely. It's an indictment of Ben Simmons. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's the best way to say it, right? I mean, that's sort of been.
Yeah, I think that's really spot on. That Ben doesn't. You need your number 2 to show up. You know what I mean? When Batman was down, you needed Robin to show up and do something.
He's my number fucking 3, Nate. You know what I mean? He's not even my 2. So it's like, hey, you got to be the second fiddle when the big dog's out. You know what I mean? You don't got to be the main fiddle. You can be second.
But you got to look at him in your number 2. You cannot look at him in your number 2. We put him on his pedestal, and then we rip him down all in the same time. He's the biggest enigma in the NBA, in my opinion. He's very weird. Like, he had a triple-double today. Like, how quiet was that triple-double? Was that really like it's hard to say a triple-double is not, like, impactful. But the way he does it, it's just like it's almost like not impacting the game almost.
Yeah, it's like a quiet triple-double.
It's like he has the
moments, though. I disagree because he started off the game really aggressive, really hot. That helped set the pace. Did he disappear then? Yes, but that's when Joel and Tobias took over, right?
Like, can you guys just understand something? I just want everybody to understand something. The indictments, yes. When Joe isn't playing, he needs to step up offensively. We all know that, okay? But like, I just feel like he's a pass first guy. That's what you're getting. You're trying to get guys up. I don't love it all, but there's got to be your time and place, right, Nate? And that's the biggest question mark, right? So time and place. We thought about that last possession, that one possession he had in the fourth, where he's got the free throw jumper all by himself, and he puts Seth in a bad spot right after that. That's the one that gets you. I mean, so I think sometimes triple doubles can be unimpactful. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I
Russ
totally
won an MVP off of it.
Yeah. But then again, his when he gets you 16 like tonight, right? Or he was right around there, 16, right? Whatever. Right around there.
I think that's what it was.
Simmons?
Yeah.
7.
What do you
17,
like, 16,
17.
11, and 11 or something like that?
That's impactful because of the 17. If he's getting me 12, it's true. And if he gets me 12 tonight, we lose. Right? That's the difference. So like, that's when it becomes unimpactful. Like, you give me 10, 11, and 10, whoop-de fucking do. Right? I need 16, 17 or more, 10 and 10. And now I'm feeling good about that triple double. Make sense? So I do agree. Like, sometimes he gets aggressive. Sometimes you feel like he leaves. But remember, there's other guys that's what makes it like hard. So like, blame him. He had 15 shots tonight. So I can't really, I can't attack his aggressiveness tonight, but I'll attack his aggressiveness in all 4 fucking games that Joel Embiid didn't play in. For sure.
To your point, Tom. And like I said, this is not an excuse thing because I've not been a Ben Simmons guy all year. But to be fair to him, I'm just talking about in games where all 5 are starting. I'm not talking about in the 4 games where Embiid's been out. Going by what the offense is and what Doc has said, and it's still infuriating because Simmons does have the ball and he has the ability to do more. He's literally just playing in the offense because Doc has said numerous times, like, he's the facilitator of the offense.
Yeah.
So literally all he's doing is playing within the offense that's designed for him. So it's not, at the end of the day, it's fear. It's infuriating. I get it because there's so many times that he passes up a wide open look or an elbow jumper or taking somebody that's smaller than him, to the hoop. Completely understand that. Drives me nuts. But it's not like at least no one can say in the games where everyone's here, he's still doing his job because that's why Doc says, hey, I don't care about the shooting. I don't care about the scoring because that's not his role in this offense.
Yeah.
But
I mean, to a point. But remember, he's got two pass first point guards teaching him.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Doc and Sam. I mean, Sam can shoot it. Don't get me wrong, so could Doc. But they were old school basketball distribute as your point guard, right? Yep. They weren't guys who were the Kyrie point guards of the world, right? You know what I'm saying? Like they're get the ball moving, move the basketball, right? I don't know where this team ranks in passing efficiency, but they got to be top 5. I can almost book that. I would love to look that up, but they definitely are. And that's the difference maker. When you go one-on-one basketball, you lose. It's just simple. If you try to go one-on-one with everybody, you're going to lose. Guys stand around. Guys aren't active. You end up losing games, right? When you move the basketball and everybody gets a piece of the rock and you're unselfish for other guys to get open looks, that's what wins you games. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's what wins you games.
Sorry, Tom.
No, that's all I had. I mean, that's what wins you games.
No, I was going to say, if you go back to the game against Memphis and what had Doc all fired up, to your point, was he didn't like the way they played regardless of who was on it because they didn't move the ball. You know what I mean? There was no ball movement. It was just one-on-one ISO, and that's not going to win, especially with Joel not in the game. It's not going to win with anybody on the game. No. So, I don't know exactly where they rank, but to your point, though, when they're playing the right way, they're ranked very high in that offensive efficiency.
And that they're 10-0 mark. I bet you they're 1 or 2. I would fucking book that. Like, I'll bet the whole 8. I'll bet everything. I'll bet A2D on that. Like that.
No, you can't do that. We already got a bet.
Nah, I can erase any old videos, Nate.
Erase old videos.
Can't do that.
Erase gate.
Can't do that.
Somebody was asking, Ralphie, tell me if I'm wrong. They were asking who's better, Clarkson or Kuzma. I mean, Kuzma's not very good in my opinion, and Clarkson's the 6th man of the year right now. I think even you would say that, Ralphie.
Yeah, Clarkson's having a hell of a year. Hell of a year. And they won again, by the way. So that's 10 in a row for the Jazz.
Well, somebody compared him to the Steelers, though, which I completely agree with. They're saying the Steelers can win 10 in a row and we don't fear them. Here you go, Jesse. Utah Jazz is like the Steelers when they were 10-0. You still didn't sweat them. It's true. It's true. Somebody earlier said that they were a Blazers fan. And Greg, this will make you very happy.
Uh-oh.
I am resigning from the fact that I said they would be a top 3 seed in the West. I am off the Blazers bandwagon, not just because Nurkic is out. It's because they play no defense over there. Like none. So I'm out on the Blazers.
Effect, man. Wherever Melo goes, man. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, man. I love Melo, but wherever he goes, they're early exits in the playoffs.
Yeah, they don't
I've
play.
been missing him out for a long time.
They don't play a lick of fucking defense.
Nope.
I mean, McCollum doesn't play any defense. Lillard doesn't play any defense. Great, they can both score. That's why they lose. I mean, it's as simple as that. That's why they're not good enough. That's why they'll never get to a Western Conference final together. They just don't. They're great scorers. Whoop-de-do. And that's the difference.
I would have took McConnell in a heartbeat when that rumor, or that was heating up. I don't even think that was, for real. I think that was just media just throwing that out there. But, oh, man, I would have took him in a heartbeat. I would have loved him.
Simmons for McCollum?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me?
By the way, Bradley Beal had 47 tonight, and they lost.
Get him out of there, man.
Get
him out of there.
Funny, too, man. I saw his prop bet. His prop bet was 34, and I knew Westbrook was out. I'm just like, man, he's going to drop like 40 today. He's got no choice. He got nobody else but him to score.
Hashtag free Bradley Beal. Just not to anyone in the East.
I'm going to read something off real quick. Somebody said Austin Rivers or JJ Redick. I'll get to that. I'll get to showing your comment in a second. I'm just flashing up our sponsors and advertisers, paying the bills, peeps. If you're wherever you're tuning in at, hey, listen, please like, subscribe, follow, download. Fuck with the algorithm. I know people want to fuck with big business. Fuck with the algorithm. Give us a ton of likes. Give us a ton of shares. Tell your friends. Let's go. Giddy up and go. There was a comment about like JJ Redick or Austin Rivers. I mean, I'll take Austin Rivers in a heartbeat.
I would take JJ. I would have really liked. I think JJ fits off the bench here.
He hasn't made a shot all year. Like I've watched, I feel like too many Pelican games. I don't think he's made a shot anymore. I don't know what's going on with him.
He doesn't fit over there. He never wanted to leave here anyway. He just weren't going to pay him the money that he wanted. You know what I mean? And he was an older guy. But having him come off the bench, it would make your lineup a little bit small. Like especially if you have him and Curry. Or like him and Maxey or something like that, it would give you a prop. He is a defensive liability, but shit, man, when he was here, we loved his shooting here. You know what I mean? We loved his shooting here.
Matthew, I think you're crazy. You're telling me that you'd rather have JJ Redick right now over Austin Rivers?
Yeah, I would for sure.
You guys all watching Austin Rivers this year?
Yeah, I mean, are we talking one year? Or are we talking long term?
Like Austin Rivers is balling right now.
We're only talking a year or two. Like if you're going all in. You're going all in this year. That's my thought process. Mm-hmm. You're going all in this year. You probably don't have to give up too much for JJ if you think about it. I think Austin Rivers will cost you more, and you have to question where you're going to give up for Austin Rivers. But
Austin Rivers is on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, it's going to cost you less.
It's going to cost you nothing.
JJ's getting paid.
JJ signed an extension. JJ's going to cost you more.
JJ,
and I don't think JJ is as effective. I don't think he'll be as effective coming off the bench as he was here when he was starting.
Yeah, I'm good with not. I'm good with not having Redick. I'm good.
Like
I'll take the shooting because just because Austin Rivers went, what do you go 10 for 10 or 5 for whatever he went in New York, for the first half. I'll take JJ's history of shooting all day over Rivers.
We watched his history of shooting not make anything in the playoffs. And I love JJ, but I'll go Austin Rivers because Austin Rivers can at least take you off the dribble if he needs to.
Create his own shot. JJ gives me nothing defensively. If he's not making a shot, he's killing me. Even coming off the bench, I'll take Austin Rivers because he's more impactful. I mean, I got a better chance of him giving me a 30-piece off my bench than I do of JJ Redick at this point.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I'm all the way around. I think you got a better chance of JJ giving you 30 in Austin.
Somebody pull up the stats side to side.
JJ's 3-point percentage is down big time this year. He's shooting 30%. That's not a slow dip. That's a massive drop from.
I got old quick.
That's the.
You really think so? You think
I'm more worried about my podcast?
Yeah. He did a lot of talking. He did a lot of talking this offseason.
And I saw the comment by Colin. If Kevin Love does get bought out by Cleveland, do you take him?
No.
Where did I see that he was they were talking about him going?
Brooklyn.
Trade to Brooklyn.
Right? Yeah, it was Brooklyn. Yeah, that would be big for Brooklyn.
They're trying to get Drummond's, Love, or JaVale.
Yeah, get that money off the books. They got a lot of bad contracts over there.
Nah,
what you talking about, Cleveland?
Yeah. Yep.
Nah,
a lot of money to old players.
Yeah, I was surprised when he re-signed there too. Like when he stayed, it just didn't make sense to me. But
yeah, I'm good on Kevin Love. I'll pass just because I think I can get somebody who actually plays for much cheaper. You know what I'm saying? At the backup 4 position.
Yeah, well, not even that. He's not coming here to be a backup, right? He would
exactly.
Be. You know what I mean? And you're not going to put Harris on the bench. So
no, and then what? If they did that, I don't think you're starting Tobias and Kevin Love.
Yeah, of course.
Because then you're putting.
Yeah, but you'd have to, in theory, unless he's bought out, you'd have to. You're not giving up Tobias for Kevin Love.
No. The guy, I think he was asking if there was a buyout. That was.
Oh, okay. I got you. I'm sorry.
No, there's no way in hell I'm trading for the guy. No way.
And for him, I think he's either going to LA. He's going to a championship team. He's going to LA, Brooklyn, one of those teams. He probably wouldn't be bad over in Milwaukee. That I'm thinking of their team. He'd probably be nice in them.
Talk to my guy, Salvatore. What up, baby? Fucking big one tonight. Let's go. Measuring stick gate, right? We feel fucking good around here. If I could go run like I did back in 2017, I would start sprinting the broad again, ask you all for a 5-piece, because that's where we're going. That's where this basketball team is going. Josh Richardson begged for accountability. He begged for it. Boom, he got down. How do you like that accountability? Let's fucking go. Sorry, I get that off my chest. Back to your regular scheduled program.
Yeah, and Richardson had 6 points tonight in a loss. That's fun.
They play good day.
Let me see what his plus
minus.
I don't think so. He was a -11 on plus minus. He was a -11.
Well, your 2 guards you couldn't score. I like Josh Richardson in Miami. Right, it was good coaching. Right, he was tough as fucking nails. I don't know what happened to him when he got here. I didn't like it. I didn't like his act.
I'll tell you exactly what happened.
Maybe it's Brett Brown.
You know why he was good in Miami? Because he had Dwayne Wade to score. We didn't have Dwayne Wade to score.
I mean, it's just a winning organization when you go to Miami. Like, they could put fucking 5 guys from the local playground out there, and they're going to compete. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the culture. You walk in, Riley's got 48 rings. Like, you know what I mean? It's just so many things. Like, you walk in there, and we're going to do it the Miami Heat way. You never thought you would say that, but
Joey, thanks, brother.
Thank you, Joey.
We love it, brother. Joey, that's what we're here for. We're here for the people. Continuing.
Is Jimmy not playing at all because the Heat are 6-11?
Listen, babe, you had a lot of time on the boat.
Holy moly!
Like New York Giants.
Is he done for the year?
It's like Odell. Once you got on the boat, baby, they stink. He got on the boat, they stink. Odell
Gate.
They'll be fine. Once he gets back, they'll be fine.
Oh, would you stop? He's got so many miles on that leg, Nate. Nate, he carried 48 refrigerators up the Empire State Building. That's what he had to do over the summer. 48 fridges on his back up the Empire State Building. Maybe he's good by playoff time.
That's all when you need him. That's the only time you need him.
Well, didn't we talk about this, guys, before the season started?
Jimmy playoff.
That one team that's going to take a step back was going to be Miami.
Yeah, of course. Because nobody expected the Lakers to step back because they're too damn good. They got better. And I'm not saying Miami got way worse, but they lost some pieces. I think Jay Crowder was a sneaky loss for them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I can't do it. I can't. I'm gonna have to go take a break, smoke a cigarette. I can't.
What people saying? Is it Levine? We got Levine. Oh, we do have Levine.
Yes.
I say I appreciate everybody's opinion. I love everybody's opinion. It's agree to disagree radio. It was created for everybody's fucking opinion. But can we stop? We're the best team in the Eastern Conference. What the fuck do I want? What the fuck do I want Zach LaVine for? For what? What am I giving up for Zach LaVine? Ben Simmons for Zach LaVine? I would punch myself in the face for making that move, and I'm extremely critical of Ben Simmons. I would square myself up for making that move.
Get ready for it, brother. Should we start collecting already now for our Aussie buddy to get him that 20? Well, he can't have a 23 Bulls jersey. So, what number does he get?
John, Derrick Rose falls off the steps of the plane getting here, and he's out for 6 months. I mean, I love Derrick Rose. So I keep it 100 here. I love Derrick Rose. Guy gets hurt waking up in the morning. Come on. Give me Lou Will. Somebody said Miguel. Oh, my bad, my brother. Look at him, Lou Will. That's what we're talking about. Now you're talking the real Lou Will, not a fucking copycat and Shake Milton. The real Lou Will. Not Doc's little prodigy. You know what I mean?
Disrespectful.
Lou Will's old too, ain't he? How old's Lou Will?
48. He's older than me.
31.
He's only 31. No, he's not.
It's crazy.
He came in the league. He was like 19, 18 years old when he.
Bet A2D.
I don't think Lou Will's that.
No. Everybody needs to stop with the A2D bet. I have the bet locked in. We can't keep betting his company.
Lou's like 35, 36 easily. He came in the league in 2000.
No.
He came in the league in 2000 or 2002 or 3.
No. He came in the league when he was in high school. So
he's the last high school player.
Oh!
You said 35, 36. You said 35, 36.
35, 36. You said 31, babe. You're fucking 4 away.
But we're not going to crown you. It's not Price is Right. It's not Price is Right rules.
You just said 38
stuff, and you're 2 or 3 off.
Thank you, Crow.
This is the actual retail price without going over.
This isn't Price is Right.
You just said this is the Price is Right. It's not the closest one.
Let me help you guys out. Listen, I make the rules when it's A2D. It's absolutely the fucking Price is Right. When you're debating how old a guy is, and you say 31, I say 35.
Then you lost. Then I win. Thank you. I won because I did under. So thank you. I win. Thank you for making the argument.
You just made the rules for us. We win.
Yes, thank you, Tom.
Right. 3 years off on an age of a guy, and
it was under. It was under. That's Price is Right. You said Price is Right rules.
You're so far off on his age. That's not how it works.
It was Price is Right, though, Tom.
No,
that was not
right. You two are making fucking stupid game show. I saw your guys' cute game show on here.
What year did you say? What year you said he got drafted? What year did you say he got drafted?
Like 2005.
You said 2000 a second ago.
Oh, then I adjusted it right really quickly. I said no. Then like 2004, 2005. That's what I said.
The thing you got, but
no. You guys are not putting.
You didn't adjust. Whatever.
Okay. Now I switch it that quick. Right, I know you're not as fast as me, babe. So try to pick.
I got you. I'm keeping up. I'm not. I'm keeping quiet. Trying not to fight with you tonight. So the thing you got to remember is
I'm trying to get it out.
Lou Will. I believe he's the last NBA player to be drafted out of high school. Am I correct about that?
There was a point of time. I don't know if they didn't open it back up. I think he might be the last group.
It does feel like he's 40 years old because he's been in the league forever. But it's amazing that he's only even at 34 years old, and he doesn't look any older either.
So when was he drafted?
2005. Your second guess.
5 years old.
All right. At least I didn't think the guy's almost under 30.
Hey, I was only 3 years off. I was only 3 years off. 3 to 5, I win.
You said 38.
I never said.
And we said 31, which was 3 and 4. We're still closest. You said 38, your first age guess, and then you went down.
What, 45 minutes ago when I was joking about how old he is, Crow?
Nope.
I said, what's he, 35, 36? Okay, that's what I said. And you can try to put work. I know exactly what I said. I broke his balls about his age earlier in the show. Keep up again. Wrong again. Maybe I said that. I don't know what the fuck I said, but I didn't say he's 38 like in a real life situation. I just know he's old. I didn't know really, he's actually like young.
How long has he been in the league?
Feels like it.
5.
2005, so 16 years.
16 years?
Here.
Yeah, man, he's got some miles.
Yeah.
No, he's got miles, but I mean, again, that's a name. You know, I mean, there's bench guys. I mean,
Lou's not coming back here, man. We can forget that pipe dream.
I would agree with that. I don't.
City always.
There's some good establishments for wings in this city.
I was waiting for somebody to bring it up. I was waiting for it.
Well, who better?
Stay, show and tell.
Who better,
I
right?
just put it on a T form. I just left it there.
He's an Uber creep. Uber. The good old days. Good old days. Somebody's gonna be like,
He's Uber creeping. I miss driving.
Best wings in Jersey because Tom doesn't know the best cheesesteaks. So let's go wings.
Here we go.
What does that mean? Wait. I want to get into this. What does that mean?
It's time.
So on our on my show on Saturday, me and Tom do a quick rapid fire debate.
Mm-hmm.
And the last question, this was 2 weeks ago. If you want to go back, go to Money Pop Podcast on YouTube. He definitely said that Geno's was the best cheesesteak in Philly. I almost lost my goddamn mind.
I love you.
John's roast pork.
Thank you, Chrome. Thank you.
You guys can all be cool guys go on the radar. I don't care.
It was terrible.
Like you got a special fucking palate to fucking eat a special thing. Listen,
That's not under the radar. John's roast pork is that's not under the radar. To call John's roast pork under the radar is a violation.
what the fuck are you guys even talking about? I'm talking about mainstream tourist attractions, right? When people come to the city that are from here, they automatically think Pat's or Geno's. It's 101. It's freaking radar locked. Everybody wants to go there. That's what I'm talking about. So anything else outside of Philly becomes under the radar. Now in Philly, no, of course not. But what I was trying to say to Nate was that I love the fucking greasy nonsense of Geno's.
Whoever's doing it, put up TTP balling. Delisandro's.
I don't care.
Delisandro.
They're up there.
Every
They're
state
up there.
in the city.
Delisandro's.
There's not a bad
Geno's, not Pat's, not this fucking slab of steak and meats with fucking cheese whiz that fucking Tom loves when he's fucking on and drunk. No, get that shit the fuck out of here, man. When you come to Philly, take your ass to Jim Steaks, Delisandro's, Larry's isn't bad, Max and Broaden area if you feel like being froggy at 11 o'clock at night. Check it out, man. This guy, oh my god, man. I think the show was usually a half an hour. This show was an hour, but it was a half an hour going back and forth about you.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
I do agree though. As an Uber creep driving people around Philly who've never been there, when they always ask, my question to them is, have you ever been here before? Have you ever had one before? Because I don't think they're as good, but as a tourist, as something you want to do, you have to go to Pat's and Geno's if you're in Philly. Because when you watch it on TV, you can be like, I've been there. It's about memories. It's about, enhancing
who says that?
the theories, so.
You know who said?
I do agree on that.
You know who says that? People not from Philly. That's who says that.
No, hold on. Hold the fuck on, everybody. What does it matter what kind of cheesesteak?
What does it matter?
Hold on again. I'm not out here with fucking signs saying, oh, everybody eat at Geno's. I'm not running on every show. Geno's up. Right? I just said I like Geno's steak. What is so wrong with that? You shouldn't get crushed because I like nonsense on a steak. I like nastiness. I like the nastiness. That doesn't mean I don't love all the other steaks because
You're disrespecting the goddamn cheesesteak.
No, I don't gotta crown all these other fucking places. I don't care enough. I'm just saying that when I get drunk and go to the city, I go get the nastiest shit around, and I love it. And that's me. And you guys can all love all the other steaks because I do too. I'm not Greg recommending Geno's or Pat's to people, but as an Uber creep, you probably do. So I mean, I understand that because you want it to, but that's just me. It's just me.
Yeah,
when I go to the city, it's 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. Guess what's open?
Yeah, it was a good conversation, man. We had a lot of fun, and he was pretty excited, just like he's showing now. he really did that. He did this on the thing. He was like this. I'm just like, this guy, man, just doesn't know, man. Hey guys, 11:40. It's about my time, man.
Nate, see you, brother.
Check your boys out.
Always a pleasure, Nate.
Take care, Nate.
Thanks for coming. Nate Moss, Money Pop Podcast. Me and Nate go live Saturday mornings, too. We have a little agree to disagree. But I'm not disrespecting it. That's the thing. Like, I'm not disrespecting the other ones because I like disgustingness. Like that's just I don't understand.
No, I completely get what you're saying.
At no point did I say these other steaks aren't better. I just said I like because I go hammered, right? Like growing up, you go hammered. I'm not going over there sober, so I'm going there 2 a.m. somehow, right? Somebody's driving, and you're getting a fucking nasty steak. That's my point. The other steaks are phenomenal if I'm going to get a bite in the afternoon, right? You understand what I'm saying? Like everybody has their palate for shit, right? I get a little
quick. It's easy. Over the bridge, back over the bridge.
Everybody gets so heated, man. Everybody gets
the chat was lively before it came flying once we said the word cheesesteak.
Like there's sober steaks, like Pop says, and then there's hammered steaks. When you're hammered and it's 2 a.m, you all got a problem with Geno's? Because you all probably get 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend John's roast pork if you're drunk. I wouldn't recommend that because that's a heavy.
I'll go one from Pat's, one from Geno's, and call it a day.
Wow, this guy, he's doubling up.
Nick says, I'm drunk. I'll eat a slice tossed in the trash. I love it, though.
Oh.
But that's it. I mean, everything gets blown out of proportion tonight on A2D. I'm noticing. A lot of blown out of proportion things. Noticing a lot tonight.
By the way, the worst one,
Pats.
is fucking Jim. No, Jim's on South.
Thank you, Chrome.
It's disgusting.
It's dog food.
It's gross.
Dog food.
You want an easy one?
I have had insight to the makings of those steaks.
Uh-oh.
It is fucking garbage. You couldn't pay me to eat a Jim steak.
I think it's Talk of the Town, right over the bridge. All right, I think it's right over.
I think the name has changed. I don't know if it's still the same, but I know exactly what you're right near.
It's like underneath the bridge a little bit, right by the Wells Fargo.
Right, Ralphie, by Chickies and Pete's, right? Like on
right by the Wells Fargo. Yep.
That's a great steak.
Underrated, real quick, over the bridge and back. I get them. They're really fucking good. I don't know where. Like this is the thing with me. Everybody has a palate to rank shit. Like I like everything. Like you know what I mean? When it comes to a cheesesteak, it's hard for you to fuck it up. Like in Philly, like you really got to be bad at it to fuck it up. So like you put whiz and steak on shit, like and the roll's great. Like you got a great cheesesteak. You know what I'm saying? So it's
that's half the battle.
Yeah,
that's half the battle is the roll. It's the roll that you get, and that's how they fuck it up.
Yeah.
A lot of places, it's eatable. It's edible if you can get something. As long as you have a decent roll, you can put together a decent steak. Problem is, some of these places too, they get the shitty rolls that by the time you get the sandwich and it's wrapped real tight, and you've only had it for 2 minutes, and you open it up and it's already soggy from the grease in the shitty roll. That's where the battle is at.
Cromer. First off, Darryl, Donkey's is freaking phenomenal. Highly recommend Donkey's for Jersey, and the Knicks, very good too.
The Knicks, yep.
On the Black Horse Pike, right? A little ways down. Donkeys. Before you head into Camden, right? Go through Audubon, you can get the Knicks right on your left-hand side. You're going down the pike. Oh, another good one. I don't feel like they do cheesesteaks, though. I feel like they have everything else but cheesesteaks.
The Knicks?
Yeah. I feel like it's all roast pork and shit. Am I wrong?
No, they have cheesesteaks. Gitano's is amazing.
Oh,
and you talk about you want to get a cheesesteak that's fucking packed. Gitano's is your place.
You like a little length in your life, right? Like a little length in your life.
And then you get the touch of the sesame seed on the bun.
And
that's it.
Their whiz is so filthy. Like on the big monster steak that you can get to feed your whole fucking family for like $5. Right? Like their whiz is so disgusting, it's good. Like, you know what I mean? Like I can't reiterate how much I like this.
You can bathe in the wish.
I might die doing it one day, but I have determined that before I die, I'm gonna do the Gitano's challenge and eat the whole big one myself.
Oh, you might die that night.
Can you live stream that? Can we live stream that, please?
I've determined that I'm gonna fucking get this done.
I heard about Carmen's. I haven't had a Carmen's. I've heard about it though.
I heard about Carmen's too and never had it.
You guys never had Carmen's?
No,
I've never had
it. Wow! Go treat yourselves. Go treat yourselves.
I have heard about it though.
Another Jersey one, Peter and Sons in Glassboro, New Jersey. Solid.
You know what I mean? Sounds like Pete and the Son are putting together a good fucking steak.
It's a new place. Good. Real good.
But no, I know we said it, but the roll, you're absolutely right. The roll is so crucial, and that's where all these places outside of Philly and outside the tri-state area, that's where they mess up so much. You know what I mean? And
right now, sure, right?
There's a couple places down here in Orlando that have started to get their rolls shipped in directly from up here on a regular basis.
Is a place. Versus does a lot of that. Versus is one of those places, both in Philly and New Jersey, that supplies a lot of the rolls for those sandwiches. And you can tell.
Absolutely.
You can tell when you've had an Versus roll, and you can tell when you definitely haven't.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of the name of the place in Philly too that you can get them. It's right off of South Street.
I know Lucio's is a big one too.
Lucio's. My boys over at Deluxe.
There you go. Sarcones.
There's a lot of listen.
Sarcones is the biggest. Is the number one place in Philly.
You got to find it, John. You got to get there.
So listen, this is what we're going to do. We're Sixers. We talked about for fucking 2 hours. Great win tonight. Big time. Showed us a lot of resiliency tonight, and a great response to a weird run on like a 4-minute stretch in the fourth quarter.
It definitely got hairy down the end.
Yep. Ooh. And thought we were losing that game. And for Tobias to hit a big shot like that, it's gigantic. So we did all that. We'll continue to talk Sixers, obviously, moving forward throughout the season. That's what we fucking do. But we're getting
Ralphie, I would expect the Lakers to come out tomorrow. I think tomorrow night, right? They got Detroit and just
we got
steamroll
Detroit
through that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I might expect something else.
Real quick.
You think they might lose?
I think it's back to back on the road. Screams. AD's a little nicked up. LeBron might not play.
I don't know, man.
LeBron's already the biggest baby in the NBA, so he might need his, a pacifier and a diaper. If those guys
don't play, you might be right. But if they play, I could see them winning by a 25 spot tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't disagree on that if they play.
For sure. Real quick, and then we're going to segue into this Eagles talk and Phillies talk to wrap up the show, and obviously get our reactions on a lot of the staff being confirmed here with the Eagles. I know a lot of people want to know when a presser's coming, so we'll discuss that a little bit, and we'll get into some of the Phillies news, which has been pleasantly good. Or I don't know if that's even the right wording. I don't give a fuck at this point in the night, but good.
Optimistic.
Yeah, optimistic, Phils. But before we go there, I just want to mention our guys over at the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. They sponsor our show tonight, and we know many of us and our families deal with either mental health or addiction issues, if not both, and we're happy to support both the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. I know the guy who runs both of these, and let me tell you, great hands to be in, and give them a call, 856-651-8117. The Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox, both located in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and Sunrise Detox is located in about 7 other states. So they're around. So if you need any help, 856-651-8117. Thanks, man. And now we're gonna, we'll get into how we feel about the rest of the staff coming together. I want your guys' opinions on what you think of it. Very young. What you think of the quarterback coach decision today? Get into a little bit of that. I'm gonna piss for a second. So start it off. Talk about it. Family out there, chime in wherever you're listening to. Listen, screw with the algorithm a little bit. Pound the subscribe. Pound the like. All right, pound the follow. Pound the comment section. Rip the shares apart. You know what I mean? Make us go public. Somebody start a GoFundMe. Help us go public. Let's go. Fuck big business. Giddy up. All right. Eagles. So, youngest coaching staff in the fucking world. So, discuss how you feel about all this, boys. And, a new quarterback coach, obviously. A new offensive coordinator. New passing game coordinator. Defensive coordinator looks like that's filled. You have a tight end coach came over from the Colts. I mean, we pretty much took the whole coach staff outside of our offensive coordinator, which I like, who came from the Chargers. So, yeah. And then obviously our quarterback coach came from the college ranks. So, and he fucking supposedly put diapers on Jalen Hurts. So, tell us how you feel about everything going on and I'll be right back.
I mean, it definitely doesn't hurt to get an NCAA video game cover guy as a coach. So I'm in on that. But even joking aside, right? I mean, he was at Florida where you got the most out of Kyle Trask. You know, Kyle Trask wasn't one of these highly rated guys coming into the year or even last year when he kind of took over for the quarterback that got injured. I forget, I'm blank on his name because it's not Felipe Franks anymore. So you got the most out of Kyle Trask. So I'm hoping that comes, you know, and you can now get the most or fix Carson Wentz. I don't mind being a very young staff because in reality, this team is going to have to become very young because this very old roster is very expensive. So sooner or later, this roster has to get overturned, and we're going to have to do that with young guys. So I'm okay with being young. Obviously, we just needed to, you know, obviously we hope that Howie finally makes the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, the coaching staff that we're bringing over is obviously, like you said, Greg is young, which is weird because usually when you have a coaching staff, you usually bring, you know, that veteran over that's done it and everything like that. That's been around the league for a long time. But, you know, I think the Eagles, you know, I don't think it's Philadelphia anymore. It might be Indianapolis Eagles, just the way that everybody's from Indianapolis, it seems like, it's just coming over. I mean, it seems like the Colts got to have a whole new coaching staff over there by the time before week 1 hits or even training camp hits. It seems like as soon as we hired the new coach, everybody came over. But I totally agree. The new staff is very, very young.
But isn't that the point, though? Like, when you make a fire and you fire a coach and you don't bring back coaches, isn't that the point? That you want to remake yourself? And I'm not necessarily saying you have to remake yourself in the Indianapolis Colts, but you're trying to not be what you just were.
Yeah, and that's what I was shocked too. You see a lot of, you know, Colts staff come over, and it's like, man, maybe, you know, you can pick somebody off from another squad just to get another, you know, maybe another system in, or just like different types of ideas from a different system that was out there in the league, and not the same one that you've been with for what I think he's been there for 2 to 3 years. He was over there, the head coach.
I believe.
Sirianni?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah,
3
but
years
I mean,
in Indy, yeah.
they had some pretty potent offenses though in those 3 years, except for
absolutely
2 years ago or last year when
Luck bailed, ducked out.
When Luck bailed at the last minute.
Yep.
Yeah.
For me, it's
right.
because I like the hiring, I like them, but you know, at the end of the day, I got to take everything they do with a grain of salt because I don't trust this organization right now. To where okay, everything that seems like it makes sense, it's like, okay, well, I just got to see it. I know that's a cop-out answer, but I think a lot of this fan base is kind of holding their breath until week 1, and if the season starts with a 3-and-out, then I think people will be like, oh, we hate this guy. And if the season starts with a touchdown and a big-time bomb from Carson to if they throw like a 65-yard completion from Carson to Jalen Reagor, then, hey, we love this guy. It's all better. But I don't know. A lot of the moves make sense. Okay, the quarterback's coach, and also he has ties to Prescott, right? Didn't he have ties to Dak Prescott?
He coached him at Mississippi State.
Yeah, so I mean that makes sense. He also has ties to Jalen Hurts. Obviously,
I didn't hear the Jalen Hurts ties. That's interesting.
He's known him since he was 4. So another conspiracy, another conspiracy, Greg. Yeah. Oh my God, he's got a guy inside. But I personally was going into this offseason, hoping for guys that have done it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was rooting for Caldwell for offensive coordinator. Not because Caldwell has won a bunch of Super Bowls, but he has years of head coaching experience. So I was more going into this offseason once Doug wasn't here and we knew the entire coaching staff was kind of done, not going for retread, because that's kind of what, in a way, you can look at it hey, if you want guys from other organizations that have done it, then it's okay, let's try and recreate it here. But I see what they're doing. They're trying to create their own system with guys that have been under, in spots, but not in big time head coaching roles or big time roles in the coaching staff. And they're like, okay, well, this guy brings this to the table. This guy brings this to the table. I really like the Jonathan Gannon hire. I do really like that. I think that, to be honest, I like that probably the most out of all of the hirings, including obviously the head coach. Like, if you have to say, like, okay, which one do you like more? I probably would say Gannon. But also, that's a big. I say that knowing that, okay, well, Gannon coming in, hopefully we don't have the freaking picket fence prevent defense that we saw from Jim Schwartz continuing. I don't think that'll be the case, but at the end of the day, it's not just about this coaching staff. There's 100 different things. We talked about it on Monday, Tom and I. We had like an hour-long debate with the fam, and we were each talking about, like, okay, what's more of a concern heading into the offseason, the defense and the offense? And you can honestly say both. You know what I'm saying? You have reason. So that's why I like what they're doing. A lot of the hirings make sense, but we're not in a situation where we were a coordinator away or a coach away or, a quarterback's coach away. It's going to be, okay, we got to tackle this task, and then we need to go to the next and the next and the next. And personally, I don't see us doing that all in one offseason. I think if we go back to sustaining a culture of winning and going through that way, then sure. And I think we have those guys, but I'm just in a state where, like, okay, well, we'll see. Like, you know what I mean? I can't be excited about any hiring, and I can't be mad because we're just like we're completely in the dark. And I think going back to 2015 when we fired Chip Kelly, we thought we were in the dark there. Damn, it's like it's like child's play looking back at that.
See, I agree, but I also disagree, Ryan. There's things about this organization I don't trust. The draft. But when you really do go back since the Jeffrey Lurie era really started, obviously the hiring of Andy, Chip had 2 winning seasons here. Now, when their mistake in the front office was to give him more control, total control. But you look at the draft at that time, and then again, in that terms, you were able to acquire assets that ended up being your core for the next regime. But I actually feel like, and then they went and hired the coach that won you a Super Bowl. I feel like when it comes to these type of hirings, more often than not, they've done well. Because then you talk about all the different changing of coordinators and whatnot through the Andy Reid era, and Frank Reich obviously being with Doug. I think overall, in terms of coaching staffs, they've done a pretty good job. And what I'm actually encouraged about is, for me, and what you were spot on with Ryan is, if you're looking at them winning next year, this to me doesn't scream we're going to win next year. I don't think that's the goal. To me, the goal is next year is about getting Carson Wentz correct.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get that done next year, you're going to win some football games regardless.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, at that point, you could take care of some of the payroll issues over that time, steal yourself a couple games. And in a division that isn't very good, you still have a chance by not going full throttle next year to still steal some wins and win this division. I think I'm encouraged that they actually went young with guys who I think, for me and Tom talked about this on a couple shows. My thing was, whoever they hire, I just want them to have a consistent vision of what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of these hirings seemed to piece together very, very well. And the other thing is, they seem to be very geared towards getting Carson on track next year. And obviously, I know we're saying the Philadelphia Colts, but when you look at your quarterback, the guy who ran the ship in Indianapolis is the guy who got the most success out of your quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So, are they pulling from another tree? Sure, they are. They're not pulling from the Andy Reid tree this time, which I'm totally fine with. I'm very encouraged with it. I like that they're young, because that tells me that they're not just looking for stopgaps either. They're not looking for the coach to get you through 2 or 3 rough years and basically get you through that tough time until you get to the next. They're not a placeholder. These are guys who I think
unless Carson's not fixed.
Exactly.
Unless Carson's unfixable.
You're
and
right.
how he's not able to to get past that, right? Because that's the thought process to that point, right, Chrome? If Carson isn't fixable and this group of young, in theory, outside the box kind of, next level thinking, if they can't fix him, and this is how he's now fifth guy, not everybody can survive that, right?
No, and that's a fair point. But I feel like just from their track records of how these guys, specifically the head coach, has done with quarterbacks, it seems like they've put guys around him now that I feel like if these guys can't fix them, I don't know if anybody can. I think and to me, that's where the accountability then falls on to Carson. And then you move on. And then you have to, unfortunately, you're in the position where you have to find a franchise quarterback. And it's on Howie too. It's on Howie too. I'm not absolving him from this. I'm just not including him in this part of the conversation because we're talking about the coaches.
Sure.
In my opinion, then that's the player. That's an issue with the player then.
Real quick.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought I heard Tom.
That's why I shut up. I thought I heard him say, hold on, Chrome, I want to say something.
Finish your thought. I just saw John in here, Coil, all campus. So I figured I'll just jump in and let people know, head over to allcampusoc.com, discount code A2D, 15% off. You just saw John over here in the chat. So if he doesn't have the hat in, tell him to get it for you. Simple as that. Press the issue, babe. Allcampusoc.com, though. Discount code A2D for 15% off your team hats. I got a freaking great Phillies one I was wearing the other day. Phenomenal snapback. And honestly, extremely comfortable on forward, too, which is sometimes a surprise for the snapbacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times you get the snappers, they're not as good. They're not as good forward. But this one is a good piece. It's a good piece forward. You know what I'm saying?
There it is, Dad.
Solid hat, talking Phil soon. So solid hat. I mean, Raul Muto's back. Spend the money. Allcampusoc.com. Discount code A2D. 15% off. So yeah, back to the comments. That's all I had.
What was John's comment that came up?
I think he just wasn't too concerned being a young coaching staff.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, these guys still got to prove themselves.
That's it.
What do you
yo, babe, what do you want me to do? People are coming. What do you want us to do? We got to pay some bills. All right, we're trying to go commercial free. We got to fill these bitches in. You know what I mean? Not calling John a bitch. I'm just saying, we got to fill.
Not you, John. Not you.
Not you, John. But we got to fill them in. That's what we're doing. We're doing it. I mean, come on. Ain't nobody just hitting you when I'm out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? They got to take 10-minute breaks. They freaking pay their bills. Boom. And then discount codes all day. I mean, it's discount code city here. You know what I mean? You can't get enough discount codes. Then we just segue, right, Chrome? We're like, you got your discount code at allcampusoc.com. But while you're at it, you want more discount code. Here we go. Body check wellness. Promo code ATD. 20% off. All right? You want clarity and focus? Be able to do a show at 12:03, babe. 12:03. Almost at back-to-backers, right? And could have easily pulled that off. You know why? Because of the clarity and focus that I get there. Bodycheckwellness.com. Okay, I pull it up one more time so the family can see. Here you go. Bodycheckwellness.com. Promo code A2D. 20% off. And yes, all campus, phenomenal hats. Great stuff down there. You're going to, over the summer, you're going to be able to get A2D gear in store too. So,
hey, listen, Don wasn't around when we were doing the 10 and 15 and 20-minute breaks in between for no good reason. Just taking them.
Cigarettes.
Hey, guys, we'll be back in the second half of the show. Should we come back now? I don't know. Yeah.
We go from 100 to 2.
Chrome, I think during one of those commercial breaks, I drove home and came back.
Yeah, might have.
That's all, Johnny. That's all we're doing. You're paying them out.
Tom, it's like that comment a couple years ago when someone said we were like Wayne's World when Wayne's World went corporate in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Wayne's World is brought to you by Noah's Arcade. Noah's Arcade.
Oh man.
Hey, Feels good. You know what I mean? Feels good. Could be doing no reads. You know what I mean? Could be doing Zilch.
Yeah.
Zilch. But a lot of good promo codes out there for our family at all campus and obviously Body Check Wellness. So a lot of great codes. Enjoy them. Enjoy their products. And, you know, I fucking will stand fucking by everything. Everything comes out of my mouth. I stand by. Oh, Jesse, Prestige Worldwide. Boats and hoes.
Boats and Hoes.
Boats and hoes.
Great movie.
Oh,
Some of
God.
the best one-liners ever.
Ralph, I'm surprised you haven't come flying with the He's Got Money line. I teed it up for you.
What?
He's got money?
Gotcha.
Oh, the Lakers lost, so he's not going to deliver.
Yeah, he's out. He's out.
If they won, then we're probably getting that line 100 times.
Right. You mentioned about bringing in like a Jim Caldwell type of guy, right?
Like, real quick, Tobias
go ahead.
living rent free in Ralphie's head all fucking.
Yes.
Yeah, nightmares. He's going to wake up at 3 in the morning next to the dog. He's going to be Tobias Harris, Tobias Harris, Tobias
All right,
Harris.
wakes up with the sweats.
Yep. Tobias Harris sweats. 4 a.m. sweats. Tobias
Who would
Harris.
have thought Tobias living rent free?
You know you're in a bad spot if you got Tobias Harris waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning thinking of him.
The great white hype. You know, Alex Caruso. Lakers fans love him. Can't DM out me or you.
He's gonna wake up at 4 in the morning and be like, "Oh my God, Tobias is underpaid. Oh my God, we could have had him. We could have had him. He could have been in Lakers purple and piss yellow. Oh my God." And Ralphie's silent, so he knows I'm saying what's true.
I'm
There's
letting
no
you guys go.
objections coming from Ralph's camera right now.
Just letting you guys go.
So yeah, where were you? Go ahead, Greg.
No, I was just saying how I was kind of on the same wavelength of trying to bring in some ex-head coaches as, you know, coordinators or position coaches. Jim Caldwell was a really good name, but that didn't necessarily work for the Giants either. You know what I mean? Like when they tried to surround Joe Judge with the Clapper and a bunch of guys. So I'm almost kind of, you know, I would have liked to see maybe one or two, but I'm okay with it because
one or
what
two
we
what?
just had didn't work.
One or two what? What were you saying again? Like one or two?
Like former head coaches, but coming to be like a coordinator, right?
I think
So
Darryl
like Jim Caldwell,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
But like Darryl said early on before I left, I saw Darryl Williams, and that was his concern. It looked like is the youth, right? I do like that freaking Shine or whatever. What's his name? That's the offense coordinator's name. Sheen or something.
Shanann? I don't know.
I like that he had success.
Shalene? I don't know. Shalene?
Justin Herbert, day one. I do like that. I do like that he's called plays before. That's a positive in terms of offensive coordinator. I agree. I wonder where the leadership comes from.
Steichen.
Steichen? Or
Steichen.
I said Shalene. Jesus.
Steichen?
Steichen.
It's been a
There you go.
long
Glasses.
Yeah, no, I'm not sold on him. I'm a name guy. I'm not sold on him.
That's why I'm here, Tom. And that's why I'm here, Dad. You know that.
I don't mind him. And I don't mind our head coach. I honestly don't mind it. Like I don't mind youth. Like in terms of like I feel like you're gonna come in, you're gonna be a little bit more progressive with your play calls and a little bit more outside the box with things and a little bit more hopefully open-minded to different things. And I do like that, yes, there's a lot of Colts guys that came here. I don't love that. I mean, in reality, you know, they essentially underperformed per se, in a way, this past year. Because I mean that 2-minute drive in Buffalo will haunt me if I'm a Colts fan. Like they wanted everybody fired. And I watched it live and wanted them fired too.
But we have to remember, we said the same thing about Doug with the clock management with Chiefs Steelers in the playoffs as well.
I did not. But
no, you did not. But I did. I did. I was
right. I was sold on Doug from day one. Right? You knew this.
You were. Yeah, you were.
That doesn't make me right. I just like the hire. I thought he would come in and I thought he came in early with bravado and it mattered. It might not last forever, right?
No,
you know what I mean?
You were by far the only one, at least on A2D, that was sold by it. I didn't like it because I was lashing out because I wanted McDermott. So I was like, we didn't get McDermott. I'm lashing out.
Yeah. And McDermott wouldn't have been a bad hire, obviously. Maybe too early for him, but wouldn't have been a bad hire. There's only one other guy on A2D that I know that like really liked the move, and he did a Wednesday night show with me, Mike. He's the only one who like liked it enough that I can recall off the top of my head because it wasn't. Listen, there was no.
I loved the move. I loved it.
Yeah. I hated it. Listen, I hated it from the very beginning. It took a little bit to win me over, but it was one of those hires where I despised it at the start, but I said, I hope that I'm wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong on these things. And I was, and with Doug, I was. But I can fully admit I was 1,000,000% not on board with the Doug hire.
I was wrong on Chip though. So I mean, like, you have your hits. I mean, wrong in a per se. I mean, they won 10 games 2 years in a row. But so,
I still don't.
no, they didn't. But.
Yeah, I mean, the Chip hiring, I don't know. I mean, again, in hindsight, because you won and maybe it softens the blow, I look at the pieces that he still brought in. Yeah. And they didn't have they had one not good season. They had 2 winning seasons. And then it's hard for me to say it was a total failure. I think it woke the organization up to say we can't give our head coach too much power. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right or wrong. But, and then it came in to bite him in the ass in this regime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it became a little bit of a power struggle because of what happened previously, which is a shame, but it's muscle memory, right? It's PTSD on what happened prior. I mean, I get it, but listen, I don't know, like, real quick, the reports that came out that like our new QB coach has had a relationship with Jalen Hurts and his family since Jalen Hurts has been like 4 years old. Like, and now everybody wants to speculate now that like that means like like he's not, him and Carson aren't going to get along. Like I'm tired of it. Like I'm just fed up. Like he's a young guy. You hope that he can translate to both fucking quarterbacks. One, okay. And I told you guys a million times. And I'm going to say it to him blue in the face. If there's 2 quarterbacks in the National freaking Football League that can deal with this, it should be these 2. It should be these 2. Okay, they both dealt with it. I don't want to hear it. You're getting paid a lot of money, vice versa. You understand? Both guys are getting paid well. All right? Jalen not as obviously as much, but still second-round pick. He's getting paid. Getting paid. Okay? To hold a clipboard and get better. And then what I like these hires for is because I think they're going to actually have designed plays for him to be impactful as a quarterback on this football team. You're going to see him more. You're going to see him 12 plays a game. You just are. And I like it because use your skill position players to help your team win. And if Carson can't handle that, then I deal his ass next year anyway. So to me, when he's owed when it's a $15 million cap hit the following year and he can't buy in, then buy, girl, or you buy in. But I don't buy in to him not buying into anything. I think it's all a crock of shit. The only thing that's hurt him is not saying anything. I understand that. Like you should have said something at the end of the year. But I think the youth that's brought in here should help him. Like I read an article today that Chuck sent us, Chrome, and he's a type A personality. Well, name a quarterback that isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm so sick of this. Like
you want out your greats.
Like Clay Ferguson, who is right and wrong, you know what I mean? He's this guy in our group that we know, and Clay's a good dude, but he's an outsider in terms of Philly. And like he's telling Eagles fans his numbers and how like over that period of time are extremely good. And people don't want to hear it. And it's like, dude, it's like I get it. You watch this past year, it's hard to rally around them. It's hard to. But come on. Like sample size matters too, though. Like I don't know how I feel about them right now, but I still want to believe. And I don't care about the extra. The extra is what ruins players in this city. It's a fucking joke. The amount of reports that come out in an off season where nothing has happened so far in terms of quarterback or anything, and all the bullshit is clickbait horse shit for the most part. Like I'm so sick of like, oh, he's a type A, he's uncoachable. Frank Reich loved that about him. So Frank Reich can love that about you, but every other coach, right? Every other coach it's something you don't want to coach. I don't buy that. Winners are going to buy in to you wanting to get in the right play, to you wanting to be perfect, right? And then as a coach, you got to hope you're setting your guy up Monday or Tuesday to Saturday, right? To get him in the right spots. So it's a combo. But if you don't trust a 28-year-old fucking quarterback in this league, call plays the line of scrimmage, then trade him anyway. Like,
I just
simple as that.
I just think it's very, very simple. And I know, listen, everything is speculation and this and that. But I think we're educated enough fans to understand what we're seeing happening in front of our eyes. To go out and bring in coaches from Indianapolis, to bring in guys who are focused on the quarterback position and the wide receiver position, to intentionally make the moves, right or wrong, to have anyone who's been speculated to have these issues with the quarterback and who's the one that's the last man standing. If you can't see that the writing is on the wall is that this organization is behind the quarterback at this point, and their main objective is to get the $120-something million quarterback correct in 2021, you're kidding yourself. It's naive thinking, or it's being in denial. They could not have given you any more
proof
of an indication of where their direction is without directly coming out and saying that, which we know they're not going to do.
Chrome.
Than what we've seen in front of your face. At this point, guys, use your eyes, use your brain.
Yeah, Chrome.
Use your eyes and your brain.
What do you do as big business? You invest in your $128 million quarterback, right? Like you paid him. So you got to invest in him. You know what I'm saying? You got to do everything in your power.
There's no going back from that. There's no going back from it.
No, you signed it, Ralphie, right? You inked it, Jeffrey Lurie. So now it's in your hands to fix it and credit this organization, though, in a way. Credit in a way that they're making the attempts to try to, right? Now, it is like strange. Everybody's from Indy. So maybe the Frank Reich reports that Dan Orlovsky, told us in our DMs, they're the things that I don't believe in, Cromer, right? Mm-hmm. Like I argue a lot of stuff about stuff, but that's one Ryan knows too, and Ralphie, because we've talked about it ad nauseum, that the one that I bought into because of the source of it. Like I trusted it, but I hated it, right? Because I hated it because what do you mean, dude? You're a grown-ass man. Like, we got to sleep head to toe with the guy. You know what I mean? But then you see that, okay, maybe him and Doug didn't end perfectly, per se. I don't think there was this hatred built up. I just think the organization's like, fuck. They hear this stuff about Reich, and they go get all his guys.
and we're in the era of, we were talking earlier, right? Everybody's plugging in trades for the Sixers in the trade machine and everything else. We're in the era of the Madden era when it comes to the NFL and transactions, where everybody thinks that you could just move guys along and you can override trades that are rejected for this or that. And it's just not that way, right? And we're not talking about when Kirk Cousins signed a monster deal with the Minnesota Vikings, at just about 30 years old. You're talking about a quarterback who signed his extension in his mid-20s, who is still very young and who still is that really the early part of the prime of his career.
And still has a window to grow and to become a better quarterback. Unlike a Kirk Cousins who, like you said, Chrome, signed a monster deal at whatever age he was, and the window of growing for him is much slower, or is closing faster, or not even there than the Carson Wentz.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, I just think, I know I'm not cleansed.
Welcome back, Craig.
Sorry, boys. Storming down here in Orlando.
Do it yourself. I know, I needed to see who they hired in spots. The offensive side of the football, I'm very, 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 very good with. Okay, very, extremely happy that I think it could be a more explosive offense finally. Okay, my biggest concern is going to be this defense and the direction they go, and if they feel like stopping anybody ever. And that's my biggest concern, because you just made a defensive backs coach your defense coordinator. There's only one way to go from an assistant on defense like that. It's up to that position. But we got to find out, because again, you have to take a next step in your career, and it doesn't necessarily work for everybody. That's why talent's so important, right? Especially guys getting their first licks at it. Now they got to learn on the fly too. So listen, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting what kind of off seasons we have, right? If we have OTAs, because they're going to be important, obviously. And I want to see the impact it has on this quarterback. And I want to see that impact early, okay? Because I'm telling you, this thing can win 10, 11 games if 11's right. So there's so many fucking question marks still. But at least like we're going in a youthful direction where the organization's thinking 8 to 10 years down the line. Not in terms of winning. Like in terms of keeping a guy here for a while. That's the hope. I don't like the way he dressed. Is that bad? Like the suit turned me off. Like it's casual, but it's a shit casual. Like you're wearing like checkers. Like it's a turn off, babe. Like you know what I mean? I'm coming in, and if I want to wear the jeans or like those types of pants, you don't got to wear the suit pants. But like a nice pair of slacks, I'm all good with a nice sport coat, right? But the sport coat can't be checker. And if it is, the underneath can't be checker too. That's a violation. Concerns me. That's my biggest concern right now.
Well, I'll tell you what concerns the house. It's not even concern. Throw the word concern out the window. Something I saw in the last 24, 48 hours, and it's being confirmed in this chat. And I don't blame the chat. The chat's like the icing on the cake for me. Started with Mel Kiper. All right. And then we get to this mock draft from CBS Sports, right? And I understand, it's Mel's 1.0. I understand it. Some people don't even trust Mel. But Tom and I, especially on Mondays, we talk a lot about what, Tom? Speaking things into existence, about the fear already starting. And I see Mel Kiper have us taking Waddle with the pick. And then I see CBS Sports, and that entire thing, I can find it if you want, but I feel like I'll go cross-eyed by even just looking at it again. They have us taking Kyle Pitts, and I see it all in this chat. Oh, Kyle Pitts. I swear to God, if we take a tight end in the first round, you think the Jalen Reagor or the Jalen Hurts reaction was bad? Oh, my God.
Unless he's a fucking pimp. Like if you're Travis Kelce, I played that card. My seat shaking. It's HUD radio. You play devil's advocate with everything. I don't want to take him at 6. Let me clarify this, okay? But if he comes in and he's a fucking Pro Bowler and he's a fucking stud, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like that's all that matters to me. I need talent. I need pimps, whoever that may be. That I don't trust anything they do, but I like Kyle Pitts a lot. I mean, I'm not looking for a tight end, but like you can make the argument Kyle Pitts is at the level of all these fucking guys that we're talking about. So
what's Dallas Goedert going to think though? We're drafted his replacement.
This team, well, listen,
another controversy.
Who does Carson Wentz love the most? And look at Kansas City for a second, right? Kansas City obviously, gets it done by having a tremendous fucking tight end. You know what I mean? We got it done in 2017 with a tight end who got open all the time. I don't know if Dallas Goedert gets open all the time like that. Kyle Pitts a way better route runner, like already. But he creates mismatched nightmares. And mismatched nightmares win games in this league. So I don't like it. It's not right. It's not to the level of Jalen Hurts because that's atrocious. That will always be atrocious. Is it to the level of Reagor? No, because I know Kyle Pitts. I didn't know Jalen Reagor, with all due respect, when they drafted him because I don't watch enough fucking Big 12 bullshit.
If they take Pitts over Surtain, what's your reaction?
To me, it's outrage because to me, I completely agree. I think Kyle Pitts is obviously the best tight end. But if you're taking Pitts, that means you're obviously passing on a lot of guys because there's no scenario out there to where not one of Smith, Chase, Parsons, or Surtain at minimum are there.
Yeah, if you want to trade back to like 13 or something and then take them, okay. I'm not going to be happy about it, but whatever. Whatever. I see what you're doing.
Position shouldn't matter in regards to talent. Make sense? Like need and all that stuff should not matter. Kyle Pitts is a top 10 player in this draft. That's not even a question. He just flat out is. Does he go in the top 10? I can't answer that. But is he a top 10 talent? He absolutely freaking is. He just is. He's the best tight end on the board. He's a playmaker. He made Kyle Trask a freaking Heisman candidate. Let's be real. Kyle Trask looked like shit in the bowl game without Kyle Pitts. That's just factual, right? Looked like he never played football before. I mean, seriously. So that tells me a lot about Kyle Pitts and his impact for Florida and their offense. So I am Patrick Surtain for all in, right, guys? But I don't think I'm picking something up and throwing it if it's Kyle Pitts though. Like I'm not picking something up and tossing it. Like if you give me like the DN from Miami, I'm freaking tossing everything.
Russo.
Yes, I'm tossing everything, right? Pitts, don't let the position because we're weak talent wise. Okay. I know we talked on Monday morning quarterback, right? About the need for defense for sure. You can go to defense second and third round if you're hitting your picks. So
I have to ask you.
It's not outrage. Sorry. It's not outrage.
Did you see CBS's mock
draft
earlier today?
That's the one I'm referencing.
That's the one he's referring to.
But read it, Chrome.
Well, the one. Okay, so all right. You want to hear the first 6 picks before the Eagles?
Yes.
Waddle's an outrage, by the way. An outrage. I'm picking everything up and throwing everything. I'm going to Chrome's house. I'm bitch smacking him.
I do agree with that. I would, if in a world where we're only taking one of those two, I'm taking Pitts over Waddle every day and twice on Sunday.
Number one.
So good. I had to think about him over Surtain. Like that's
this was updated 14 hours ago, and in this, they have Matt Stafford getting traded to Washington.
I'm fucking.
I hate it already. I hate this.
They have Trevor Lawrence 1. They have Zach Wilson going number 2, obviously to the Texans. They have Devonta Smith going 3 to Miami.
No,
Zach Wilson's going 2 to the Texans.
They have
How'd the Texans get there? They don't have a pick.
They have them trading Deshaun Watson
to the Jets.
Yeah.
All right, settle in.
I think he's going to
buckle up. Turbulence talk.
He's going to end up with either the Jets or Miami. So to me, I could very easily see the Texans moving up to one of these, either 2 or 3. Miami number 3 taking Devonta Smith. Surtain going number 4.
Yeah.
Sewell. Going number 5.
Hold on. Okay.
And for the Philadelphia Eagles at number 6, drafting Justin Fields.
I'll fucking punch somebody.
I didn't see that.
That's not happening.
That's what I've been predicting. That I believe it. It's happening.
It's not real.
Watch it.
Show the screen.
Justin Fields to us at 6.
I did.
Stop. That's happening.
I did see that.
Just stop. Would you stop? They stop. They look for clicks because now everybody's talking about them. It's a fucking joke. They're not giving 3 quarterbacks and then trading. Stop. All right.
I mean, I'm not looking for clicks, and I've been calling this since
Now, real quick, is in that mock, is Chase still on the board?
Chase goes at number 7 to the Lions.
Okay, so Pitts and Chase are still on the board.
Yeah.
So here they have.
You're all not gonna like that. You're all not gonna like that.
They have him going number 15 to New England.
Yeah, he doesn't go that far. If people aren't gonna like this, and I don't fucking care. I spent so many assets on wide receivers that I would take Pitts over Chase. I take Smith over Pitts. Hear me out. Smith over Pitts. I take Pitts over Chase. I'm telling you, Kyle Pitts is that good. That good. Maybe the most underrated player in this draft that nobody's going to talk about. Just watch the bowl game. It's that simple. It's that simple. They couldn't move the ball anymore. They literally could not move the football. That's a senior quarterback who could not move the football the second his tight end was gone. That's freaking impactful to me. That's more than I've seen from anything. LSU, well, they stink anyway because they didn't have Burrow. But if they still have Burrow and Jefferson, they're still scoring points. You know what I mean? That's how I look at that. Like, that's pretty big. And Jamar Chase is a pimp, but Pitts played this year. Pitts played.
Yeah, they have Stafford going to Washington, Deshaun Watson moving on to the Jets. And they have Ryan Fitzpatrick signing with the Detroit Lions for Don in there. Go Fitzmagic.
8 wins.
That's for you. I hope you're still here, Don.
Right, you know what happened?
Get your Fitzmagic jersey right. Start putting your pennies away.
What
happened? You brought up Pitts, and it's a name that hasn't been talked about a lot.
You're sold.
Don wants him now.
Got Dallas Goedert, but he's a name that I haven't talked about a lot because it's not a need. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't a need. And when you bring them up, it's like, fuck, I'll take Kyle Pitts. I mean, Carson loves the tight ends. So, I mean, if Pitts can be Kelsey-ish.
It's true.
If Pitts can be Kelsey-ish, then we got to start quarterback again. You know what I mean? Like, Kyle Pitts is a mismatch nightmare and a pimp. So, if he can be a top 3 tight end in football, it's a win. I mean, look at all the teams that go to the bowl, essentially. San Fran went to the bowl, great tight end. Kansas City's been to the bowl, and AFC Championship game 3 years in a row, great tight end. Like, tight ends are important. I don't know. We talked about Dallas Goedert and not knowing. Now, we don't know anything about our wide receivers either. But, we don't know about nothing. So at the end of the day, I don't know. I still take Surtain over Pitts because I love Patrick Surtain Jr. But it's fucking close, dude. Like, it's close. It's closer than people think the more you think about it. Like, why are we so – what is Dallas Goedert done to be – you can't draft the best player on the board per se? You know what I mean?
I don't disagree with you. I don't think he's proven enough.
No, I don't.
And he hasn't stayed healthy either.
And I'm not saying that Pitts would be at 6. I have to see how it plays out, right, guys? Like, I don't know right now. I'm just saying if it played out where Chase, Surtain, and Smith were all off the board, I'll fucking take Pitts in a heartbeat. I'll take Pitts in a heartbeat. And I'll take him over Micah Parsons, too. I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry. I got my Penn State guy right down here, and he gives, and that's a scoop. All right? I get the scoop. He ain't fucking insider. All right?
Well, NBC Sports has us taking Surtain, so that's a positive for you.
I love that. Listen, you can't go wrong with Surtain.
Listen, man,
you can't go wrong with Surtain. Parsons.
His father was one of my favorite defensive backs to ever watch, and I grew up a Dolphins fan, so I watched a lot of his father, and dude was a fucking pimp. Dude was a baller.
Sewell, Pitts, Chase, Surtain, Smith.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up. All them guys are Parsons. I mean, I'm good with them names. They're impactful guys.
I want to get Greg's thing on this because I think I don't know. I just feel like I know what he's going to say. Are you taking Parsons or Pitts, Greg? If only those two were on the board, if you're only taking those two.
Be smart, Greg.
If only those two on the board, I'm going to factor in positional value here, and I'm going to take Parsons. I don't disagree that I think Pitts is just as much of a monster and a mismatch nightmare, but I can get away with another option there down the road or in the draft where I don't know that I cannot continue to miss on a linebacker. However, if those are my two options at 6, then something went drastically wrong at the top of the draft.
Obviously, real quick. Hold on. You just made the biggest mistake that guys do in drafts. All right? And you went positional value. Now, let me ask you a question. Both are extremely important and both are undervalued at times, okay? But you can't tell me that the tight end value isn't higher.
No, it is. But I think we're already good enough there that I cannot necessarily have to go there.
Greg, who do you think the better pro is? That's all that matters. That's my question. Who's the better pro? Because that's the difference maker. We need a pimp. I'm not saying Parsons is going to be a pimp, but who do you think is the better pro?
Well, I think they probably it's so tough to judge those type of positions, right? But Pitts being an offensive guy would probably play longer. You know what I mean? So might end up putting up better numbers because he's an offensive guy and this is an offensive league. And the wear and tear of a tight end isn't as bad as a wear and tear on a linebacker, right? So to answer that question, it's probably Pitts. But I think they're both equally pros. I just don't think Parsons plays as long as Pitts potentially does.
I'll just make this point. Surtain's going to be on the board at 6, and if they don't take him, then I'm going to punch somebody in the face. And it's as simple as that. So everybody telling me about defense out there, I want Patrick Surtain. That's my number 1 player on the board at 6. That's what I want. Go to bed. Enjoy the off season. I don't give a fuck who else you pick. Okay? Now, if it's not him, there's other backup plans that I like a lot. But that's my number 1 player that I want. So I want to confirm that with everybody. I don't want anybody else. But there's a case for other guys that are very good. You know what I'm saying? The only position I really don't want is the position I have my favorite player at, and that's Devontae Smith. I don't want a wide receiver. How many are we going to have? Like, I'd rather take Kyle Pitts, who can play wide receiver, slot. I mean, he can play slot, can play tight end, has the ability to play outside. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather take that in a Swiss Army than.
Yeah, you're right. He's a borderline wide receiver anyway.
Yeah, then take this a guy like Chase who can just play the outside. So it's just so hard. It's just so hard. That's why you just hunker down and you say, hey, when this pick comes to me, who's the fucking best guy, dude?
Yeah, however, there is no question Jamar Chase is better than Kyle Pitts.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Greg. Are you saying, I'll switch?
There's not even a question. I mean, I think Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver to draft.
So you're taking Chase over Pitts. That was my next
Even
question.
without him not playing a game this year?
Yes.
Interesting.
And that's no shot to Smith. I think they're 1A, 1B.
Now,
I think you can flip a coin. You
think
can
if
flip a coin and they're both the same.
Since Jamar Chase didn't play a game this year, do you think that Smith is taken before him just because of the fact that Smith played?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think Smith, like everyone talking about Smith. I love Smith. I'm not even thinking about him anymore because I just don't see him getting to us. You know,
Yeah,
I just don't.
Yeah, no, there's definitely something to say about, recent, the most recent you saw was Devontae Smith dominate everything.
Yeah, true. Let me give you something about Kyle Pitts real quick, okay? So when they played Bama, they lost, right? But 7 for 129, over 18 yards a catch, and 1 TD. That's versus Bama. So pretty impactful. Now, I don't disagree with you. Chase is a tremendous talent. The year off bothers me with him and Parsons. It has. Where these other guys have played. That's the difference.
And that's fair.
Like one guy just won a Heisman right in front of us, right? And the other guy's a freaking cornerback pedigree. We love factories, cornerback factory. There you go. So Kyle Pitts had what this year he had. Remember, he didn't play in their bowl game. So 43.
He was nicked up a little bit too during the year.
Yeah, he was 43.
He didn't play every game. Sorry.
No, you're fine. 43 receptions, 770 yards, 12 TDs, which is the big one. You know what I'm saying? 12 TDs is what you want. And 18 yards a catch. Pretty impactful for a 6'6" guy who's 246. And guess where he's from?
Is he local?
Guess where he's born? His birthplace.
Philadelphia?
Philadelphia, PA.
They're drafting this guy, aren't they?
I'm having fun with it tonight. That's fun, and I can really see it happening the more I talk about it. But I go with Philly Sports Passion.
Circle.
Philly Sports Passion is like right where my head's at, Sartain. And I freaking dude, the size and the mismatch nightmare are selling me more and more. You win in the red zone in this league. You win by scoring touchdowns. I need touchdown fucking machines. And look at all the tight ends that score in the red zone in this league. Look at them all. For all you fantasy junkies, we're all fan. Look at all the tight ends that score TDs in this league. And the really good ones show up week in, week out, don't they?
Yeah.
Wide receivers sometimes can go away a little bit. Great tight ends don't disappear. They just don't. Like they never disappear from a game. It's almost like you can't take them out of a game. Because you got to cover them with linebackers who are too slow or corners who are too small.
Don, no, I don't see the Jets taking another quarterback. I think they're probably going to end up with Watson or a free agent. I don't see them drafting somebody.
I could see him definitely taking Zach Wilson. I can absolutely see that happening.
For their sake, I don't want them to. Blaine says, you can take Pitts if he is the best player available and trade Ertz or Goddard, but you're in a position after the pick where the value isn't as good because they know then you have 3 tight ends. Well, then you would because then you could just trade these guys beforehand.
Yeah. Pop, I've said Sartain so many times, like I almost want to talk about somebody else. You know what I mean? Wanting a guy for I can't tell you how long. What does he say? What does Limit say? Pitt's about to be overrated for us. I don't think he's overrated at all. You just look at the size and the touchdowns and the yards per catch. That's not overrated. Like a tight end's getting 18 yards a catch. That's fucking explosive, ladies and gentlemen. That's what that is for a 6'6". Remember this: 6'6", 246.
Yeah, and Florida's offense didn't have a whole bunch of other talent around him.
And a good wide receiver, I forget his name.
Yeah, but he's undersized. He's like a Percy Harvin type, ironically, at Florida, right?
Yeah. And I think he's a third-round guy, Greg, if I'm thinking about the wide receiver, or second round.
I saw him in the first round, which blew my mind.
Late? Because he didn't play in the bowl game either.
No, it wasn't Lee. It was the Swiss Army knife. The guy they run out of the backfield a lot. I blanking on his name. Let me see if I can find him.
Tony?
Darius Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
Darius Tony.
I saw a mock that had him like late first round, like 20 area. I'm like, Jesus. Maybe we didn't screw up Jalen Reagor. I mean, I don't know if I'd probably take this guy over Reagor. I'd take Ralphie running routes over Reagor.
Well, how about that? Just like copycat everything, right? Like copycat the league. Like there's two main reasons.
Thanks, Tim. Yep, that's him.
There's two main reasons why the Kansas City, well, three really, but two main important reasons why the Kansas City Chiefs are almost impossible to stop. One's Travis Kelce, and the other one's Tyreek Hill. Like, you literally can't cover them two. Like, understand, like, they're always open. And Mahomes is a fucking pimp, obviously. But it helps to have two guys who are always open. There was a third and 8 on Sunday, and top 3 corner in football is covering Tyreek Hill. Okay? And a guy who I think is pretty fast in Mr. White. Okay? He was 15 or 20 yards off of him. I mean, it was the easiest pitch and catch I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm making that throw. We're all making that throw. Maybe not Ralph. We've seen him throw. But everybody else is making that throw, okay? Not a shot at Mahomes. I'm just making a point that, like, your skill position players are a big part of your success, too. It helps your life out when you have guys at the positions that are just maybe, if not their top player at the position, top 3. And Tyreek Hill is the most explosive and game-changing wide receiver in the National Football League, and I don't give a rat's ass what anybody says because he's unguardable. He's unguardable. Like, nobody can guard him.
You know this show has got me doing now, Tom, and it's fine because it was inevitable. I am now looking at the draft order, looking for possibilities to trade back and take Pitts.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at teams after us that wouldn't be in the market for a tight end. Like the Lions, they won't. Panthers, they don't. I mean, if they're taking a tight end first with all their issues, I don't think that's smart. Then I'm thinking, can we trade back to 9 with the Denver Broncos? The Broncos move up to get a quarterback. We go to 9 and we take Pitts.
They got Noah Fant.
Yeah, the Cowboys. I mean, I don't think they should be taking tight end first. Everyone's saying the Giants, but I think they have other needs except for tight end. The 49ers, they have George Kittle. Chargers, they don't need a tight end.
Pitts,
I'm looking.
You want this one, Ryan?
Shoot.
I love the Denver one because that's really like realistic. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I could see, like, I'm almost having an epiphany to that day to where like that happens.
Now, Surtain's on the board. I'm going to punch somebody, but like, I don't know, man. I mean, I think Kyle Pitts puts Carson Wentz into a top 10 quarterback in the league again, like immediately. Just like I think Chase would and other guys, but I think even more so right away. Like that's how much I think he helps him immediately.
So where are you making the room? Are you getting rid of you're obviously trading Ertz?
Yeah. Ertz is
he's
going. So I'm going double tight. And now my offense has a bunch of young wide receivers, right? That hopefully this coaching staff can get more out of. That we invested picks in, okay? 3 last year and 1 the year before. That's 4 wide receivers that we invested picks in, not even including Travis Fulgham or Greg Ward. Understood? Right? There's 6 guys. Okay? As much as I love Smith, and he's really my favorite guy, I can't. Like, how many more can I have? So I look at wide receivers as like, no, unless I just don't have a choice. Unless I don't have a choice. And that's the best player. Make sense? Unless I don't have a choice. Besides that, like, if I get Pitts, my offense becomes extremely explosive, and he almost gives me what Ertz should have, except he actually can run after the catch.
That's what I was going to ask you. Can Pitts block and or run at least 2 yards after a catch?
At 6'6", 246. At 6'6", 246, you can get in front of somebody. So, you know what I mean? Like 6'6", 246, you're going to get in front of somebody. But is he a Dallas Goedert blocker? No. But that's why you have Dallas Goedert too. So, you can have a guy grow in to be a better blocker. You can't have him grow. You really don't have him grow in to be a better, like, impact player. Like, I'm not saying Kyle Pitts is the best pick for this team. Not at all. I think it's Patrick Surtain. I think it would be a guy like Sewell if he's there. Like, I like a lot of guys, but I wouldn't be pissed off and throwing shit. Is where the whole conversation started with Pitts. Like, I would just take it in context and say, okay, well, We got our quarterback of another weapon, and now look at our offense. You would expect it to be explosive enough. Quez Watkins, maybe another year, things slow down. He showed he can at least take a ball to the house. Jalen Reagor hopefully can learn how to run routes. Okay? John Hightower showed he can at least take a top off in a small sample size. Greg Ward can run routes. All right? And Travis Fulgham showed he could play a little bit. So it's like, and JJ's got the umbrella, and maybe he wants to play. So you guys understand what I'm saying? Like you got to see if these guys can play. You can't just go get another one. Like, how many times are you going to go to that well? We have so many other holes. And tight end is one of them holes. Because reality, who the fuck is Dallas Goedert?
Not on the field a lot.
Who's Dallas Goedert to be like, oh, we got Goedert. We don't need nobody. Like, we don't need it. It'd be okay. But if listen, man, if this guy can help Carson, then that's fine too. Surtain helps Carson too. Sewell helps Carson as well. Smith helps Carson. I want to make this all clear. Chase helps Carson. All them guys help Carson.
Yep.
Parsons. I mean, everybody helps Carson. Everybody helps your quarterback. You need the best player there. Like, we can circle it all we want. Like, it's just it's tough. I mean, it's tough because you do have some, but it's good because you're in a 6 hole, right? So like, guys are gonna fall in your lap.
Oh, and that's why you trade back. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they do the
For
9,
Pitts you do, right? For Pitts, you do, yes.
Yes. If they're all in for Pitts, then you do what you should have done with friggin' Reagor last year. If they were all in for him, then trade back, get another pick that you're probably gonna miss on, but whatever. You know what I'm saying?
More chances to miss.
Yes, exactly.
Because look, you could draft a linebacker in the 2nd round. You could draft a cornerback in the 3rd round. Like, if you draft right, you can draft these things. Like, It's not impossible to hit on a linebacker in the 3rd round if you're doing it right, or a quarterback in the 2nd round. So just because you go offense in the 1st round doesn't mean that you can't go the rest of your draft and focus on the defense side of the football. You know what I'm saying, guys? So it doesn't matter how you go about it. It's just really, I know it's so cliche. And my last thing is, it's best player available, and you call it a day.
I'll just tell you this. Just watch this organization where we've talking about defense we've been talking about defense forever, right? We got to go defense, linebackers, cornerbacks, etc., DNs, because we always hit there. You watch them trade back for Pitts in the 1st round, right? Them trade Ertz, and them do what we talked about on Monday, Tom, to where our first 2 picks in the draft are Pitts and Najee Harris. Just watch. And guess what? I'm not even there yet, but if that's the case, I'm good. Like, I'm like Mr. Defense, but if we come out with the first 2 picks of that, hey.
I'll sleep great if I got
sign me up.
Like, who needs a defense at that point? Like, okay.
Sign me up. All right.
You draft the linebacker in the 3rd round. You draft the linebacker in the 3rd round the year before. So
hopefully this new linebacker in the 3rd round has actually played football before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Limits, real quick. We just been talking about so much Eagles and so many different options that I really just took the opportunity when they mentioned his name to just give a whole different outlook to have fun. Because we've talked about so many of these other things ad nauseum, and let the dial beat you up with the same things over and over again. I don't want to do that, and I know these guys don't want to do that. So if there's a chance to be creative in mid-show and talk about somebody completely irrelevant in a way that we haven't talked about, and see if it could fit, see if it could work, make sense of shit, that's what we're here to do, and have some fun with. Like,
it was our Kyle Pitts player breakdown. That's what that was. That's what it was.
Hey, we got a long way to the draft, and he's a top 10 guy. So,
guys, stay tuned. Next week we'll be doing the Gregory Russo player breakdown.
I'm not showing
guys,
up.
can I be invited back home? We do the Josh Fields breakdown.
I feel like every Thursday has been the Fields breakdown, Chrome.
We've had
Thursday.
Right. I can't do this. Okay. We've had a good night. We didn't have to do After Dark. Not that makes it a good night. We didn't get a chance to do After Dark. All right. Because at the end of the day, there was too many guys and not enough ladies. That's not A2D After Dark. A2D is about the women and the ladies that are part of A2D.
You don't want to hear me and Tom's pillow talk.
So, yeah, you don't want to hear just me and Chrome. So we never got a chance to fight tonight. And I will literally, I won't see him for a minute. But when I do see him, I will backhand him. I will bitch slap him like Bobby Whitney type shit, right? Bobby Whitney, and for you younger cats, that's Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. I will bitch slap him like Bobby, the Whitney, and rest in peace, Whitney. I love you. But Stop talking
Boo-boo.
bullshit into existence. It's bad enough that I had to bring up a tight. We had to talk tight end. They're gonna freaking put Justin Fields' name out there.
At least it wasn't Trey Lance.
But we can also address defense by like signing, like how we signed the guy from the Chargers who never showed up. Forget his name.
It's me too.
What was his name?
Jatavius Brown.
Yeah, and he could play a little
Jesus,
bit.
good on you,
Look at
Ralph.
you,
I didn't
Ralph.
even know his name. I didn't know his name.
First time, long time.
There you go.
Oh,
You're
you.
back, Ralphie. There you go. You're back.
Besides, he took some of those CBD meds. He's locked in after the Lakers loss. He got refocused.
Bang.
Speaking of CBD,
BodyCheckWellness.com, promo code A2D for 20% off. I use the Clarity and Focus. Ralph obviously uses the endurance one and energy. So, you can really see it. His complexion's delicious. Just looks great. So BodyCheckWellness.com, promo code A2D for 20% off. All CBD, oils, gummies, things for your pets. Listen, Riley Cote, big part of this. We're going to have Riley Cote on the Hockey Happy Hour at least once a month. He'll be giving stuff away. A lot of big things coming, but check out our fam at BodyCheckWellness.com. Promo code A2D, 20% off. So, where were we?
You were talking about signing a linebacker.
Yeah,
That
Brown,
never played.
Yeah, Jatavius Brown would have been good for this football team, but they could go out and do small moves like that if they have to go offense early because their best player is available. They can go do them small moves and make their defense a little bit better.
Malik Hooker, anyone? That's
I'll
not small, but I'm just.
I'll take Malik Hooker. I mean, I feel like he gets hurt all the time, right? But
Hey, he's perfect here. He's perfect.
yeah, I just can't. I mean, this team. Listen, Phillies are good. We'll finish this up.
I know you real quick. Do we have an idea of when a presser is happening?
No.
This is like I feel like he's been a coach for 2 weeks.
Right. It's like the CIA's covering something up.
Yeah, like did they not like the suit, or are they calling Josh McDaniels? Like, are they having second thoughts? Like, what are we doing?
Did they need to get copyright with the pen and the visor? Like,
and it's funny too, because like I'm not necessarily, like, no disrespect to him, Sirianni, but like I'm not that interested to hear what he has to say. Like, it's as sad as that's
really.
What is he?
See, I think you would be, just to even learn more about the guy, because I find it fascinating that for all the big names that were out there, right? The Joe Brady's, the Eric Bieniemys, what's it? Dan Culley is a freaking guy who just got hired is getting hired by the Texans. Like, you're not seeing the prominent names that you heard when the firings started to come in.
I completely agree with Luke Brown. What do you think? Probably the reason why he hasn't spoken yet, he's going through the whole Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, how to talk in a press conference classes.
Yeah, or he's just filling up he's filling up all his coaching staff, and then they do it. Is also the other side.
I feel like that's probably where they're going, Tom.
Yeah, so they can
United Front.
Yeah, so they can say like, hey, this is our running backs coach, this is our pass game coordinator, whatever, the bigger things, QB coach, etc. And do it all at once is probably the reason. I don't trust this organization worth shit. I'm not a presser guy, but an introductory presser, I am a guy.
Yeah.
Especially for a head coach, I need to hear you talk, because what did you say to sell them? You know what I mean? Like, I need to hear what you said to sell them so you can then sell me. Chip Kelly sold a tank off a fucking car lot here. I need to hear you talk.
All boned up.
That's
boned up.
I was doing it Joel.
Yeah.
The drive.
Oh, yeah.
And
get it, girl.
And Pop says we need to pay attention who we brought in, Rye. Our future depends on it. I completely agree with everything you guys are saying. I just after that damn Jeffrey Lurie press conference, I don't even want to see a Doc Rivers press conference for a month. You understand? That's not even the same team. I am done. Like, Tom's been trying to tell me for years, ever since I've known him. I feel like the second sentence him and I talked about was, Rye, don't watch press conferences. And I'm like, Tom, I'm not listening to you. I'm a junkie. Now I'm finally like, oh, okay, that was a mistake. That was a mistake to value press conferences. Like, I'm still not over that. Like, I feel like the last year with the Clintacks and the Middletons and the Jeffrey Lurie's and the Howie Roseman, even the Doug pressers, I am permanently scarred with press conferences.
They're politics, right? It's like watching, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's literally watching like people run for offices in any walk of life, right? Like high office, office, doesn't matter. It's the same thing. I'm gonna tell you what you want to hear, and I might do something completely fucking different. And and I've learned to say, what are you trying to sell me? Like Jeffrey Lurie, we went on right after that, right? That's the worst press conference I've ever witnessed in my life.
Yeah,
it was
that was hard.
Manager, you said that Doug didn't deserve to be fired. But
the longest press conference ever, Tom.
Oh, it
delayed us an hour. It delayed us a full hour.
It was a look at me.
2-minute emergency presser, and it went 55 minutes.
You guys want to hear how good my organization's been? Does anybody want to hear? Does anybody want to hear how good my organization's been?
Because no one else thinks it but me.
Yeah, yep. I can tell you how much and then back in the day. Okay. If you hire Andy Reid again and Nick Sirianni's Andy fucking Reid level of success at minimum, then it's a win. But anything less than that's a loss because you fired a Super Bowl winning coach, regardless of how you guys feel about him. You still did that. Not that you stay here forever because you win one, but a lot of guys get a lot longer shelf life than that when they win. You know what I mean?
I'm still having friggin' nightmares from the couple liners, like the 5 minute. It wasn't even a couple. It was like 5 minutes where he was talking about how Nate Sudfeld, our third string quarterback, who's going to be a free agent in about 2 months, how he has the best arm on the friggin' team. He has the best arm. He has the best deep ball.
Best deep ball. They said best deep ball. Yeah.
Like he should have the best nothing. He should have the best like sitting on the bench skills. Like that should be his best. Like holding a clipboard.
Baby.
He should be like the best at holding a damn clipboard. That should be his best.
Competition next year. Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts, Nate Sudfeld, and Justin Fields. Who's gonna get it?
Quarterbacks enough. I thought Jeffrey Lurie was his agent. The way he was talking about it.
Yeah, like you're trying to get him paid. Like what? Why are you trying to get Nate Sudfeld paid?
You've been trying to speed him up for a big payday.
This organization's been saying for 4 years, literally 4 years, that Nate Sudfeld is a future all-pro quarterback starter. That's what they said. Now it's like, oh, he has the best deep ball arm on the team. What?
Yeah.
Pardon? Who?
Hey,
real quick.
Yeah, real quick.
4 minutes. We'll wrap this bad boy up. All right, let's talk Phils. Let's talk Phils for a minute. Love the deal. We talked about it the other day, 5 years, 115. It's a deal you have to make. And it should be you just getting started, right? You've already done some things in your bullpen that are upgrades. You're already going in that direction. And honestly, my final thoughts on it all is the fact that Dave Dombrowski, as soon as Dave Dombrowski was hired here, I knew this team was going to try to win. And that's all I needed to know. So I don't care about John Middleton. He shouldn't have any say over what. Just sign the fucking checks and let Dave Dombrowski put this roster together. Yeah. And let Joe Girardi, who's a hell of a manager, go win fucking baseball games. So really excited about it, boys.
Hey, Johnny, just shut up and just pass me the money. Just let me do my job. Shut up, John.
And if you think about it, I know we're not going too deep into it, but if you think about it,
you can. I'll just sleep.
We got cheap. We got them on the cheap. You know what I mean? Like 5 for 115 is fairly cheap for what we were all thinking.
Bro, we were playing Carlos Santana 3 years ago.
Yeah.
$20 million a year. Yeah. I mean, just inflation alone. The best catcher in baseball should be getting more than.
We were all good with 6 for 150, right? I mean, we were all like 6 150, do it, right? Or 125, do it.
I would have told you 5 200. I don't give a fuck about his money, right? Yeah. Like I don't care. Like, you didn't have a choice but to sign him. Yeah. So whatever that market value was, you better write the check. Simple as that.
Yeah, because that's on you making that deal. Yeah. Which you do. You got to make that deal. But then you're right, Tom. You got to – there's no price then.
Well, I think they backed themselves into a corner too because Sixto looks like he's going to be a pimp. So you had to justify that deal by extending him. And I agree with you guys in that. I personally, I get a little concerned about, catchers going into their mid-30s. But considering – where he's still 29, you're going to get mostly the production out of it. Even if he tails off, it's not going to be to the last year or so of the deal. And again, when you talk about inflation, what the value of this now is going to look like in 5 years is going to be night and day. I think the Phillies made the move they had to. If they had to go with a little more of a higher AAV to get it done, so be it. I thought it was a good deal all around and something that they had to do.
Yep.
And Archie Bradley's a great addition too, by the way.
Yeah.
They finally, I mean, They got a long way to go with the pitching staff, but that was a great first piece, great first step in the offseason.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and even just the way MLB's going, Chrome, to your point, by the end of this contract, the universal DH will be here.
Hopefully.
I don't know, man.
Hopefully.
That's a conversation for a different day.
Yeah,
But
they voted against it.
I know if they did for now.
Different day. We could talk about that.
No.
You know what I mean?
And they voted against it yesterday. They should never voted against it. It's the most clueless decision of all time, but I move on.
Yeah.
that's a conversation
Great.
for another day.
Yeah, the two real quick things.
Oh, see you, Ryan.
Well, while he jumps back in, to your point, though, Greg, that will absolutely add to the value of this deal if the universal DH gets added to this.
Yeah, and I think Chrome that he's such a he's such a great he's such a great athlete that I think that he can catch a while, or worst case at the back end of that deal he's playing first base. I mean that's the worst case, so that's not even a big deal. So if it isn't a DH, you still got a first baseman you can protect. You probably want to put him in first base if you would do that within 2 years. You know what I mean? That's
Well, but is he going to be like a Joe Mauer, though, by the time his...
No, I don't think...
He's going to be like that, where his knees are completely shot like Joe Mauer's were?
No, I don't think so, but you got to think, too, the back end of this deal...
Joe Mauer was a pimp.
He was, but later in his career, his knees were gone.
Even if that universal DH isn't in fact implemented, he's still a tradable asset at the end of the deal. He should still produce enough with the bat that if he cannot produce behind the plate and you don't have a position in your lineup, he should be able to get you something of value back by the back end of the deal.
You better hope that the universal DH comes into play.
But if it doesn't, there's still light at the end of the tunnel at the end of the deal.
No, listen, look at it like this. It's 2021. The athletes are not the athletes in 1980. We're like, the wear and tear of catching. You know what I'm saying? These guys prime their bodies to be able to handle it. Like, there's guys who catch later on in their careers now more and more, and they do it successfully. So, to say that him at 34 can't be a high caliber catcher for 125 games a year or 100 games a year behind the plate and 25 games a year at first or something, right? Or whatever, or DHing. His value here is going to be all that matters over the next 5 years of us trying to win a World Series, if not 2. That's all that matters. And can he hit enough?
I hope so.
And this isn't Sal Fasano in the back. You know what I mean?
Like Ralphie, look at so much. When nobody's on base, a lot of times he's not in his normal stance. He's got one knee on the ground.
I noticed that too.
They learn to rest their knees more, and because another thing it does, it quiets everything down for the umpire too. So now the umpire doesn't get as much movement either. Because if you're in a spot, it goes right to your spot. You don't move as a pitch. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it too, Cromer. So the wear and tear of the knees. You look at Yachty in St. Louis. I know it's a different breed, but I mean JT's right with him. He's a great fucking athlete.
Still doing it, It's not impossible.
Not impossible. So to say at 35, he might get another deal after that somewhere. But the way modern medicine is, and the way guys take care of their body, it's not crazy to think that guys can't catch at a high level at 35 anymore.
Ryan said he's trying to get back in, and it keeps giving him an error.
Doesn't even matter. We're going to wrap this bad boy up anyway. We've done a great
job. I mean, look what Yachty's doing. And Yachty's 38. Yachty's going to be 39 during the season.
Yeah.
And wants to go 2 more.
All right. You guys ready to get out of here?
That's absurd. Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Awesome. We're going to give it off love you guys all that chimed in tonight. Appreciate yous. We know many of our families deal with mental health or addiction issues, and we support the Counseling Center and Sunrise Detox. If you need help, please call 856-651-8117, fam. Don't be shy. We know it's been a crazy year and a tough year for mental health. So pick up the phone if you need to. Okay. And again, can't thank you guys enough. Wherever you're listening to us at right now, please follow, subscribe, like. If you're over on the podcast game, download, reviews, but pound that freaking like button. Pound that like button. Can't thank you guys enough. You guys drive the show. We do it for you guys. And remember, allcampusoc.com. Discount code A2D. 15% off all your team hats. All right? We're just givers. Just givers. Allcampusoc.com. Discount code A2D. 15% off. And check her family out over at bodycheckwellness.com. Promo code A2D, 20% off. And, of course, like always, our doc, make them yours, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Fam, love you. Can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. We'll see you. Me and Chrome will see you tomorrow night. So stay tuned. We out.